is okay.
So can they hear me?
Yeah, I can. Everybody can hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to mute my mic for a little bit.
Okay.
So that's the idea, right?
So
I just hang out here and
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe answer a question or something.
if people wanna, yeah.
totally free.
Okay, cool. I want to like say goodnight to everybody and stuff, so I'll pop in.
Oh, nerves.
Oh, you're nervous.
Yeah, I'm always a little
You're
nervous when
nervous.
it comes to streaming.
Okay, can you tell me if everything is
Hmm?
looking? Can you tell me if everything is looking good?
It's looking good, I think. Yeah, I'm watching it now. I think we're okay. Hand emoji.
Okay, hand emoji. Can you
Okay,
see
hand
it
emoji.
properly?
I can see it split now. I can see.
Bleh.
I can see you. I see my demon gal.
Gal.
Yeah.
That is cool. That is cool.
I
Oh,
can
you're
tweet
already
about
putting the
this as
pressure
well.
on me with talking about dinosaurs, huh? Okay, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I tweet about this too?
Of
Or-
course.
No, you can't. Also, I'm going to put your Junkrat in front of everything. So
Yeah.
you have all the pressure.
No.
Yes, yes. Suffer my wrath. Okay, so let me understand the layers you have going on here. Cool. Cool.
No, actually, a demon T-Rex.
Oh, hold on. Before we go live, one thing.
We're already
You're
live.
Oh gosh.
What do you want?
No, nothing. Don't worry.
Everything is safe.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Your screen is not in the thingy. Okay.
I just disabled my desktop notifications because they can get a little out of hand.
Some magic sword. Okay, so what do we do with this demon?
Hey, this is not the line art.
This is the lineart.
Oh, right, yeah, that is. All right, yeah, so what do we do with the stream? We have some watchers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's well, I think it's maybe appropriate if we introduce ourselves. Hey, I can hear my voice.
Yeah, mute the stream, you idiot.
Oh wait, yeah, I refreshed it. That's why. That's what happened. Whoops.
Oopsie doopsie.
Okay. Now maybe start with introducing ourselves or something. I don't know.
No.
People or not.
Nah, fuck them.
Okay, that's fine. Then we can talk about what we're going to draw. Right? Yay.
Sure.
Hold on.
I'm going to paint one of Ali's demons. That is what I do. I'm mindless renderer. I'm a render monkey. Oh, that's a good nickname, actually.
Render monkey? Render taco.
Render taco.
I think that's actually pretty appropriate.
That's actually
Render
pretty
taco.
cool. I'm taking it. I'm totally taking it.
It's almost like a superhero.
Behold, the mighty render
Behold.
taco.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, chat.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I don't know, I guess I'm talking about from behalf of everyone here, but if anybody has any questions or wants some feedback on art or whatever, we can totally help.
Yeah.
I think
I think like
it's not like we know how to art, but we try, okay?
yeah, it's I have still no idea how this industry works most of the time, but for some reason it seems to work out for I think all of us. I think I can speak for all of it because we're here now with I think 4 people. Oh yeah, James is not talking. Never mind. The three of us.
James will
But-
come eventually.
Yeah.
Is he hearing us?
I don't know, but he is muted. Discord.
Guys, I'm muted because I'm saying goodnight to everybody.
All right, that's fine.
Okay,
I'll be back.
that's James.
That's James. If you don't know his art, look up James Loy.
Guys, I'm supervising a little bit the Twitch, and the thing is that Carlos is barely there. It's very hard to listen to Carlos.
Let me see if I can filter it. That is so fucking weird.
I think I'm gonna draw this dragon because it's what I'm this stream. Because everybody's in the Game of Thrones vibe anyway. But it's not gonna be a regular dragon, right? Weird one, that's for sure.
Is it better now? I have no idea if I change anything, honestly.
It is better, but even with that, you are quieter than the rest.
Okay, let me pump this up a lot more. What about now?
But dude, maybe is the way you talk. I don't know.
I don't like screaming. I'm not a screamer. Okay, sorry for that. I hope it's...
Maybe just like lower the rest just a bit, because
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
audio
also-
for the rest is pretty okay.
There you go. Yeah, that's weird.
I
I
need
have...
more refs up in this piece. There's too many parts to this character.
Yeah, I remember when I was drawing my Junkrat fan art.
Yeah, same.
So,
It's like you think that there's not much, but then you're because he doesn't even have a shirt, right? But then you go in and you're like, oh shit, what did I get myself into?
yeah. Also, like for instance, the way his grenades are put around his neck are like
Yeah.
it's sort of irregular. It's not
Yeah, it is.
symmetrical. And I also didn't notice that the first time. But when I did the fan art of Junkrat, I also started to notice things.
Yeah.
Can you believe that I never made a fan art for Junkrat ever? Shame on me.
No,
Shame on me.
No, I actually like. I mean, you're not playing Junkrat that often. Like, but let's be honest, Symmetra is your girl. That's
Symmetra is my girl, but hey, Junkrat is probably one of the most charismatic characters in that game, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
And I'm so happy that they are giving him a new story and everything, because he deserves it so much.
Yep.
Mhm.
Totes.
I'm actually really excited about the Junker Queen or whatever she is.
Oh,
I hope she's actually gonna be a new hero. I would love that.
I really want
is
her
that?
to be a new character.
I'm lost.
Hmm?
I'm super lost
So
right now.
when they made the new trailer, sorry if there is a bit of background noise in my case. When they released the trailer, they were talking about a queen, and then when they showed a bit of a gameplay of that map, the voice actress refers to herself as the queen of Junkertown. So it's like a new character, but you don't get to see her just yet.
Maybe
I
it's like
just imagine Immortan Joe. That's what I imagine.
maybe it's like an
from-
AI, like GLaDOS.
I don't think it's an AI because Junkrat really hates Omnic,
Yeah,
right?
they
And
fought
if you- and
against.
Yeah, and in the map you can actually see there's like a trash compactor or something that's filled with dead omnics.
Mhm.
So I
Wow,
don't
I
think,
did not even catch that.
really, if you look at the trailer, there's like a pile of dead Zenyatas laying
Yeah,
there.
there is like the
Wow.
main point of Junkertown is the hate of hate against the Opnics. Like,
Yeah.
they say something like, "We won the war against the Opnics," and like they really hate them. They do.
Yeah.
When I saw the trailer, the first thing that I thought was Seniada's and Orisa's voice lines when they play that map. Like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, like can you imagine Jay being afraid, robots being afraid of racism against robots? I think that's great. It's definitely one of the things that make Overwatch to be such an interesting universe that it feels deep and it feels like we don't know yet a lot of what's going on in that Overwatch world. Even if the game is almost 2 years old, but there is still a lot of mysteries and things to be told.
I think they kind of underestimated how well it was gonna do, maybe, and now that there's a big demand for more lore, they're kind of like, oh, we probably should come up with some.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mm.
By the way, I saw more people joining the Twitch. Guys, if you have any questions or feedback on anything,
Hello, people of Twitch.
Yeah, hello Twitch. I'm not really drawing because I don't feel like drawing or painting today. So maybe I can be your moderator because I enjoy
You can
talking to
totally
you
do that.
guys.
Sure.
Yeah, I can do that. Can I? Can I?
yeah,
Can
yeah.
I be your moderator?
You can. But you have to be like Titus.
You can always
Oh,
be my
oh.
moderator.
I can totally be like Titus. There's
VR
the
Titus.
in me.
You're already
yeah.
my Titus. Did you even
Aw.
notice?
Thank you. You are my Kimmy.
Okay, I will take that as a compliment. I love Kimi.
It is a compliment.
Baldi, how do you feel about the
I
colors
love the
this
colors that
far?
you're going for. Fuck, it's amazing.
It is
Right?
amazing.
And he does
Yeah.
it so effortlessly. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
color suddenly.
God,
I don't
it's
like
so good.
that all the contrast is on the head. Because she
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have
think
any
it's
skin.
great.
I'm not happy right now.
You're not happy?
Why?
All the contrast is on the head. She doesn't have anything, like any
Dude,
flesh
give it time.
on the. Oh, yeah, but they have to think about these kind of things up front.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, there's 27 people already watching. 29 suddenly. So what is it? This is like a friendly talking. They will be painting. I'm not going to be painting because I'm a lazy artist, and today I don't feel like painting. I already paint this morning. So if you maybe want to chat, if you maybe want to talk about something, if you have doubt that you want to discuss, or yeah, just whatever, just
Mario's
drop
here
it
for you.
in the-
Yeah, basically,
I'm
we do
here
this.
for you.
We do this all
I'm
the
totally
time.
here for you.
We do
What?
this. We do this every day. But we just
Yeah,
thought we could
we
open the chat
literally
to.
do this every day.
Yeah. We can open the chat to public every once in a while. That's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't feel weird at all because we do this
Yeah.
every day. Normally I paint, but today I don't.
Haiku.
It sounds very haiku. Yeah, it does.
The Tao of Mario.
Mhm.
Yeah. Queen Stream says we need more of these demons character designs.
We have so many
backstories,
more.
world building.
Oh, they're-
Oh,
See, Baldi?
Yeah.
See?
yeah.
I can tease a little bit. I have already finished another one that I can show here.
We are on it. Yeah, look at that.
That's one of that's going to be the workers. They're like the small
Ooh.
minions. They're
So cute.
They don't do
So
they're
pretty.
very small and weak and whatever, but they fill this universe a lot. There, you will see come across them. Like if I don't know, in my head at least. this
Well, your head is the reality right now, so.
story.
Oh, I love that you had also 2 more in the background.
Oh yeah. Let me pull them up again. Yeah, I've just wanted. I'm gonna finish this one with drawing some more in the background later on because I don't know, it's fun to draw more guys. They're very simple and easy, but
Mhm.
fun to draw.
But isn't it like the good part of world building, like to start designing a lot of simple things? They don't need to be. I think the beauty of what you're doing right now is doing a lot of, let's call them simple things
Yeah.
that really work together very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very cohesive world.
It
I want to say.
It is.
Thing.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello, James.
Hello,
Welcome
bud.
back, James.
This is James.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm not good at paint. I'm just a voice.
Oh, just like me. We are
From the
lazy
darkness.
people today.
By the way, I'm just painting Baldi's demons. Like he did this one and I painted it, and now I'm doing all the rest. Hopefully, if I have time
Is
in my life.
Is the red one already finished?
It's almost finished. Like you can see, for example, the arm is a freaking mess. But yeah,
It's already reads so good from.
it's like 90% there.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah.
Needs 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay. But what do you think about the magic sword, for example?
I was thinking when I was imagining it when I was drawing it, like definitely had a glow, like maybe
Blue?
either near the tip, like you're already having, or like what I was doing in the value sketch,
Oh,
like
yeah.
near the mouth.
I'm going to do it near the mouth.
Yeah, like the demon head is like.
Yep.
I don't know. Blazing
No,
fire.
I got
or-
you. I'm just thinking turquoise or
Yeah, I think purple or turquoise is good because it's nice match with yellow. But maybe you should, if you should check if that still works with the blue top.
Mhm.
Otherwise, maybe even also make the blue a bit more
Let me see.
bluish. Otherwise, you get maybe too many colors. But you just do your magic. I'm sure you'll find color.
Oh,
Know
and,
what to do.
Quinn is saying that more of my art is needed on their Twitter timeline. I post sketches almost every day. Almost every day.
Switch to Dashi, by the way.
Fucking Dashi being
No,
most
I'm just
productive
looking for
of all of
reps.
us. Yeah, put a shame to us, Dashi. It's fine.
Hold on, I'm just looking for reps.
Okay. Hey, no
Don't
pressure.
judge me.
No pressure, dear. It's okay. Everything is fine. We will all survive.
All right, I think I'm gonna sketch. Wasn't sure which one.
Valde, do you think the main part of the shield should be different from the edges? Like, do you think it's like flesh or bones?
Sorry, what?
The main part of the shield. Do you
Or
think?
if it's flesh, like a head.
Yeah, or
I
bones.
would just make it like either bony, or
Bony
I
is
don't know,
cool.
solidified. Yeah, bony I think is cool.
Bony is definitely a nice choice. Let's make her bony.
Bony.
Buddy, I have another question for you. When you sketch, do you use like different layers for sketch, like rough sketch, and then the cleanup, or do you do everything on the same layer?
Well, I prepared something, guys. So the Smith guy that I actually posted today. I start with sometimes very simple sketches. Like this was my first sketch, like most basic Smith that you can possibly imagine. But one thing that I liked about this one was the shape, like the slopiness of his neck going into this pointy head.
Can you put it more to the right?
Oh,
Because
right.
otherwise it's not visible.
Yeah, sure. Like this. So I really like the slopiness of this, like this shape. That's the one thing that I liked of it. So then I started developing the idea of having two heads, also with the slopiness. But like again, like these are super rough sketches, like really quickly, but trying to get the idea. And then I did a somewhat more detailed sketch, and I think I posted this one in the Discord, and I got some cool feedback from James about the balance. Like James wanted to push it a little bit more like this, which I also think was a really good point.
Yeah, James is so good with
with the gestures and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got rid of the two heads with this one again because it didn't work. So I was going back and forth a lot. And at a certain moment, I think, let me find it. Where is it?
And Quinn, I know. I've been missing so many awesome art pieces because Twitter kind of, it's not a timeline per se anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the word time is not really essential in what they're
I
doing.
just go on
I was
Instagram lately.
complaining about this the other day with a friend. It's was like, hey, you're not emoting anything in like months. And I'm like, no, dude, it's just that you don't you don't see it in your timeline, but it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly, it works that way now.
But yeah, so
So
after that,
back
like
to the sketch.
I did this sketch, and this was sort of close to my final, like what I liked. And this is like just one layer. So to answer your question, and after that, I just lower the opacity of this one, and then I go over it with a line art. So
But it's not like you do a cleanup version of the line art on top of that. It's like you delete what you have, right?
I actually keep this one, and I put it like on a very low opacity. Like you can see it here. Like this is without line art, and you can see some of the lines very subtly in between. And on top of this, I do just like clean line art.
So you keep some parts of the very rough sketch somewhere.
Yeah, because I like just some to keep it rough. Like if you zoom in a little bit, you can see some of the sketches that
I think that's beautiful. Yeah, I was asking you because every time I look at your lines, they look very clean, but at the same time they have life. Like you don't really kill them or just delete them and create a new cleaner version on top. I really like your approach.
Well, I do create, of course, a cleaner version, but I do like put some of the old ones still in there. So
yeah, that's a very elegant balance.
But I'm still not like on the level like for instance Raphael is, because Raphael is at this level where like his initial sketches are like almost his solid line art already. I still need the second pass for some reason. Like I still can't. That's the thing. I think definitely something that I always will need to work on is I'm always searching too much. Like, and whereas I think good artists like put their marks down really nicely and they know what they want. And I'm always
that's a beautiful part of being a concept artist is just like looking like at the same time that you are drawing, you're finding new things, you're surprising yourself. I think that's beautiful anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm still enjoying my process, and I think that's
and we enjoy it as well. Okay, people are asking stuff on the chat. Cameron88 asks, what methods would you recommend to practice design skills? Like, for example, something like how to transfer a leather jacket design into something fresh rather than just copying a jacket. I guess he is trying to refer to interpreting or stylizing references, I guess. Is that Cameron? Yeah.
I think that's a cool one for everyone to answer because
yeah, definitely.
Approach to it. So, Mario, what do you do? How would you do this?
Well, I still have problems with these actually, because when I have like a lot of reference and I really spend a lot of time finding cool references, sometimes I found myself being a slave of that reference. Like they make a lot of influence in the design, So what I do nowadays, and it really works for me, is instead of having them open in another window
Mm-hmm.
and constantly look at them, just spend like a good 10 minutes or 20 minutes learning them, studying them without painting, just like looking at them and making mental notes and being like, okay, so leather is like this, leather reflects light in a certain way, or it does these kind of folds when it goes to the armpit or the folds, whatever. Just like do mental notes of what you are studying, and then when you're going to paint, you don't need to look at that every single brushstroke. You can just like uh, refer to your mental notes, and if it is very necessary, then you go and look at the reference again, but never like at the same moment, because then you're just copying.
Yeah. I think that's actually a really good point. I think I'm sometimes too often I'm a bit too much a slave, like you're saying. And I think I've actually, yeah, I think I also had a teacher at one point who also said like, don't be a slave to your reference. Like you remember when you were maybe live drawing and you probably maybe you all had this one that you were drawing so or you're like trying to look so much at the model or at the thing that you were trying to draw or the subject matter that you forgot to put your pencil down and like think about it more. I sometimes had this, and then I was like, okay, take a good look, take it in, go to your page and translate it. And it doesn't matter if it's not immediately perfect. There's a next blank sheet page if you turn this page. So it's okay to fail.
Yeah, I also think you said something very important, like a very important keyword, that is translate. You're not copying, you're translating.
Yeah.
You think like it is a different language. It belongs to the reality. It belongs to the 3D environment. And what you're doing is translation.
Yeah.
Like
That's
you're
why I think it's very good to also stylize your stuff. Like, for instance, what I think I actually wrote this down from one of the talks from IFCC from Nick Carver, where he was also talking about always stylizing your studies,
yeah.
because you're not only interpreting them, you're completely bending the rules at the same time. And if you're actually good at it and able to do this stuff, like I think you can learn a lot.
Yeah, that was also very important for me. Like I remember that part very vividly.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you're going to make a study of soldier, I think it was a soldier what he showed as an
Yeah.
example. He was like, make it different, like put a filter, and that filter is your view, like the way you view stuff and you stylize stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What about the others? Carlos, I want you to speak because you're very quiet.
Yeah, sorry, I'm super focused right now.
Okay, then pass.
No,
Dashi.
I can totally reply. Don't worry.
No, sorry, your turn is over.
Hey, I can multitask.
Go on, Carlos. Please enlighten us with
I
your
don't remember the question.
superior knowledge of this matter.
Can you please repeat the question for me, if you remember it?
Sure. The question is, how do you okay, I'm going to read it. What methods would you recommend to practice design skills? Like, for instance, having the picture of a leather jacket and making your own version. Like, how do you stylize stuff that you have as a reference?
I think stylization is just translating shapes into a simpler way that fits the design standards, like the FAIRs and all these really old rules. But I think that's not necessarily design. Like, holy shit, I'm super bad at explaining myself. What I'm trying to say is you can design something new by mixing two things, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But translating one thing that already exists into a stylized version of itself is not necessarily design, in my opinion.
I kind of agree. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
with the part that mixing two things
I
is
hope
designing.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because if you have to define designing or being creative, I would say that it is to mix stuff in a interesting way. Like picking two things, or maybe more, but let's say two things, and making a new connection that has never been done, or maybe
Exactly.
it was done, but you make it in a clever, unique way.
Yeah.
Like I think design in terms of concept art, for example, if you have a leather jacket and you want to turn it into something new, mix it with something really fucking random, like a mantis, something really weird.
Yeah, like fish scales or something.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
Like pick a leather jacket, but instead like have the texture being leather, make it fish scales, but still have like the cool swagger that has a leather jacket, like something like this. And this is something that's very interesting. Maybe it's been done before, but it's definitely something more unique. And this comes back to the thing Mario was saying about combining stuff, which I am completely 100% agree with. That most of concept art isn't coming up with like something brand new. We're not like rediscovering the wheel every time we're rediscovering fire. We're just combining themes together that may not have been done before or may have been done before, or doing it like Mario said in a clever way. I think it's a really good way to put it.
Thank you for calling me clever.
You definitely are my Titus.
Nobody called me clever.
Okay,
Yeah.
James.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
How to practice designing things?
Yeah.
Specifically leather
Yeah,
jackets?
that's sort of the question. It was a really great question, by the way. I didn't ask it, but really nice question.
It is, yeah.
I guess
Because
really
we
similar to
actually
both.
talk about this a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what every day almost.
I probably think this is a lot similar to Carlos, is like just applying like the rules of design to anything, like the big, medium, and small shapes, and trying to force something that just looks cool, like a cool shape or something that doesn't connect. But I guess something I like to do is like try to find the essence of something, like what is the impression of its shape, and like what's the gesture,
That's a really good one.
and like
Yeah.
simplify it as much as possible.
Yeah, and you are very good at that.
You're the master.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
I guess like a leather
Daddy.
jacket, like I would try to simplify it as much as I could, and like focus on like where the pinching is, like where the folds are, and like focus on like your curve or straight, like the arm, like because one side of the arm generally mostly straight, as the other side kind of wavy because of the folds or something. Then I would just exaggerate that, and then I'd probably look at the fawns and really caricature his jacket because he looks cool.
Yeah. Okay, I think
Dashi?
we had like very good answers. Dashi, do you want to add something?
I'm of course a little less knowledgeable of these things than you are because I've been doing
Shut
this.
up.
You're not.
I've
Shut
been
the
doing
fuck
this a
up.
little shorter amount of time
Your
than you all
designs are
have.
amazing.
Shorter?
But I actually had a task lately, like it was, I think it was like a month ago or so, that I actually had this task of having to design a new jacket for work,
Nice.
for a game character to put on, and I guess I was just thinking about going back to that and thinking what was my like thought process when I went into that. It was like a post-apocalyptic sort of thing. So I just sort of gathered a mood board for myself and started combining aspects that I thought would fit the character and would fit what we were going.
Nice. And also, you mentioned the key word that is combining. Like,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Also
So I agree with.
post-apocalyptic.
This is mostly rehashing what you all said already. So,
nice.
but it was more like a practical, like more recent experience of like this fact that we were discussing. Yeah. Gosh, I'm sorry.
Ah,
All right, I think that covers the questions. So there's...
That is great. Yeah, I think those were great answers. We have two more questions
Oh shit!
from Jack Sear Hut.
Oh shit, he's here! Oh my god! Hi,
I don't
Jack.
know who he is.
I went to him with on classes when I was in LA. I took form language with him. It was super nice, and he's actually really
Okay.
good at art. Like, Jack, what the hell, man? Why aren't you working at fucking Blizzard or anything? Come on.
Well, hello, Jack.
nice to meet you, Jack.
He is asking. I have two different questions. What do you think makes or breaks a portfolio, or what do you think artists should include in their portfolio if they are trying to get into the industry? And the second question, and I am going to read this because I think it, like, maybe you can answer both at the same time, is what do you think makes a design successful?
Ooh,
Like,
that's
what
Seem to
those
be
are
do you
two
guys
long
try to
ones.
achieve or strive for in your designs?
well. I don't know who's gonna start.
That's
I don't
These
know,
are
but I
great.
want
These are
to
great
ask.
questions, by the way. I love
It is a very
talk
good
about-
question. Yeah, I just want to ask: do you guys listen to background noise?
Somebody
in
has a
the...
lot of wind. Yeah.
I think it's me. I think it's me.
Okay, then do the brush to talk thingy.
I have the rest of
Oh, holy shit. We are going to die.
No, but I was asking more like for
Okay.
background voices because I'm in my parents' house
No,
and
I don't
there's a
hear any
lot
of
of
that. Don't
people
I
worry.
here.
think it's gone now.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's fine.
Okay, okay, great. So who wants to start with this?
Dogs.
Well, if no
Um,
one starts, I can start, I guess.
yeah.
Then.
You can totally start.
It's not too long.
So the first question was what makes or breaks a person. And
the microphone did a
there was
thing.
something more added to the question. Let me check the chat.
Yeah, please.
What makes or what do you think artists should include in their portfolio if they're trying? Well, what if they're trying to get into the industry? So I think what's really important here is that you question yourself, where do you want to work? Like,
Yeah.
hypothetically speaking, what would be your dream position? And this is a very important question, I think. And if you listen to yourself carefully and you think about what you really want to do, and let's say you're trying to want to work for Blizzard or anything, like that's cool. Like, we all want to or wanted to at some point. That means that what's important is you should cater your portfolio towards this studio. Maybe you've already heard this before, but it's, I think, a very important thing to do, because if you're going to make a portfolio that caters to whatever the industry wants right now, you might get into the industry very quickly, but that doesn't mean you'll be very happy doing what you do.
Sometimes that's
So-
okay though. Like
Sometimes that's okay, yeah.
you get money, people need money to live,
That's
or
true.
you're already in the industry, so you just have to move beneath it. You don't need to break into anything anymore.
True.
So sometimes it's okay. But
Yeah. But what makes or breaks a portfolio? Again, I think this depends a lot on what you're trying to achieve with your portfolio. Like, if you look at if you look at my portfolio or my art station right now, you won't find any environments in there. That's because I would really don't like to do environments. I'm not good at them. I don't want to do them. And at first I was like, oh god, this is not gonna be good. I need to be able to do this. But fortunately for me, I have enough work to work as like a character concept artist and creature concept artist, which I really love. You actually see a lot of creatures in my portfolio, and that's because I really enjoy drawing creatures. I think even more than characters. So again, it comes to the question: what do you want to do?
Exactly.
So
I really agree with that, by the way.
yeah,
Like, a lot of people is obsessed with building a good portfolio for the industry without thinking too much if that's what they want to do. And let me tell you that you're going to spend a lot of hours, if not most of the hours of your life, doing that, like working. And maybe you like maybe a company will hire you to work on something for 1 or 2 years, You have to do that for that amount of time, so you better like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not saying that you have to find your perfect cup of tea, but it's important to do something within your interests.
Yeah. And yeah, so when you have found that interest, that thing that you want to do, then I think it is important to, like, this is all about presentation. So for instance, like, don't show too many of the same things, or like definitely show some variety with the things that you want to do, but also don't show too many things. For instance, if you look at a lot of starting out 3D artists, for instance, they show like back view, front view, side view, like all the views, whereas like a good 3/4 front and back can be sufficient enough. Like they also show like the texture maps, the UVs, like everything. It's like you don't have to show it all. Like it's fine. Sometimes showing less is better. But like this is all going more in depth about portfolios stuff. But I think the point we were talking about earlier is the most important
Mhm.
important one.
I have to say
Start
one
with.
thing that literally breaks portfolios is if you do, for example, a fan art of a League of Legends character, don't put Riot, the Riot logo
Oh
on the
yeah.
bottom. Please don't do that. That
Yeah,
literally
don't do that.
gets you out of the game instantly.
Yeah.
Like, I would say, just don't put fan art in the
Fan art is
portfolio.
okay, I think.
I don't think it's okay unless you are bringing something new to the table.
Like yeah,
No,
because for
it
instance,
depends.
yeah.
Like, sorry, 1 second. Like,
No,
if you
you
want to
you
be
go.
an illustrator, fan art is okay. Because you're
That's
showing,
true.
for
That's
example,
true.
Blizzard, that you can totally render Jaina and you understand her and her proportions and everything else. That's her character that already exists, and there's a set of abilities that you need to have. Like
That's
if
true.
you
I
want to be a
thought we
concept
were
artist.
talking about concept art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
get the
in
word.
that case, it's true.
Mhm. Worry not, friend. I got you. Sorry, Valdi, go ahead.
But I was also wanted to say that let's say you want to work for Riot as a character concept artist, or like a skin designer. What's a really good trick if you want to do that stuff? If you really imagine yourself at that position, so imagine yourself being at Riot. Imagine yourself getting the assignment of designing a new skin for this and this hero. Do it. Like, what's holding you back? You know, like just open up Photoshop, grab some reference of that hero, and think of a theme that you want to do for your skin, and design a fan skin. And I think designing a fan skin, and plenty of fan skins out there.
That's a really good way. Yeah.
If you do a good job, Riot will notice it. There is a high chance they might come to you. So like
Yeah, that's true. And I am the proof of that, not because of Riot, because I never worked with Riot, but I designed some things for games like Dream Daddy. I
Yeah.
did some fan art because I really like that, and I did my own version of it. Like, I didn't just copy what they had. I did my own version and vision of that. And they like it, so they contacted me and they wanted me to work on that.
Yeah.
But every time you do fan art, try to bring something new to the table. Like, try to show that you are a clever artist, that you can do something interesting, that you understand what they are trying to do. Because if you just copy it, let me tell you that there is a lot of good people copying stuff online. Like, lots of great artists that are super good at copying.
Yeah.
And that said, I'm so sorry, but I have to go right now because I have to go and have dinner with my family. So, because I'm visiting them, you have to spend time with family, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe I'll be back later, maybe not. Who knows? My life is a mystery. Have fun. Have fun.
You have a good one.
Have a nice meal. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a good wrap up, I guess, for the portfolio question. We could talk hours, I think,
Yeah.
about portfolios because it's. I've seen very good ones. I've seen horrible ones. Like it's. Yeah, but it's, and I'll be honest. I don't think I myself. I didn't even have ever made like proper portfolios, or I tried to, but then after like a few months, I despise my portfolio.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I
have you
think
met
that's
me?
a good point
Yeah,
of like not having a proper portfolio,
yeah.
but then like people can see what you do, and that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there is a right way to make a portfolio.
I think there are definitely general pointers that you can.
Yeah,
follow.
a lot of wrong ways.
There are a lot of wrong ways to do a portfolio.
That's
I
like,
think. Sorry, what do you want to say?
yeah, like echo everybody. Just say do what you want, because you may think that you want to work for these big studios and these big companies, but then once you get there, you'll realize you probably don't really like it because you don't have a lot of leeway to do new things because it's so established. And honestly, they probably don't pay as much as you would think, and you would be just kind of resentful. So I kind of feel like it's a small to medium-sized companies.
Mhm.
that
But this is
contract
just all personal.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Also, you have to
everybody
get
has
there.
their own goals. Like, and I think it's good if everybody discovers this stuff on their own. Like,
Mhm.
Right.
if people right now want to work at AAA, they should just try to work at AAA studios, and then maybe they discover if they like it or not. Some people might really enjoy it, don't. But this is the next step. We're not talking about that step. We're just talking about getting there. I think that's the first. That's what we're talking about, right?
Lots of exploration, I think.
Yeah, that is,
Well,
and it's very. It is, and a good point that you bring up because it isn't. I think people dare to explore, like dare to start to work at a little indie company. Like it's good to get that experience. Dare to even start your own company. I did it. It fucking
Yeah.
failed, but it was a good experience.
Aldi, quick question.
Yeah.
Yay or nay? Look at the stream and tell me which one.
Sorry?
Look at the stream and tell me which color.
Oh shit, this looks awesome. Or
Carlos, how do you even?
Blue or
Mm,
I know, yeah, I know.
I know.
Can I chime in on this?
You can
Yeah,
totally
of course.
speak your mind.
I'm thinking I like the teal better because it's like it breaks up the the harmony. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use, but it breaks up it a little bit. But I think it needs something that corresponds with it.
Yeah. I
Like,
still want to see magenta purplish one also with like the color, the t-shirt thingy also that
we
Like
have
maybe
that?
she could have like maybe the eyes on the leg armor could have the same color, like it glow
yeah,
in
of
the same
course.
color.
Oh yeah,
And
also.
maybe something on her skin she could have markings or something. Something needs to correspond. I feel that's my personal.
Yeah, we still have
opinion.
the little runes or whatever in the sleeves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was going to use that. Like maybe some magenta there.
Just I love how you do everything. Like you haven't been working on this for that long, and it already looks so
Okay.
3D. I just want to touch it.
The chat has spoken. Blue.
I'd
blue
love her
wings.
so much more now. I already liked her design. Really happy with
Oh,
it.
you love your amazing design now?
Yeah.
Thank you for doing a fucking amazing design.
You're fucking bringing her to the next levels.
I'm going to recruit an army. I'm going to make them fight you. Until you learn.
By the way, we had another question from Jack because this was only the first one. The second question was, what do you think makes a design successful? So not a portfolio, but the design.
Oh. Can
If
I?
it follows the
You
guidelines.
can.
Just say it, Dashi. We all know.
Say it, Dashi.
I just feel like good design is it's not in the details. It is if it tells you a coherent story. Like if you're talking about characters specifically. If you can look at a character and know who they are, maybe at a first glance, that's a success.
Yeah, I'd say. I think another way to put it, at least how I would put it, is more. It has to have substance, which can sort of be story, or can be something that at least substance like invites someone to take a second look, maybe. You know?
Yeah.
It interests people, and I think this can be done very good with. That's why I'm definitely for story. But yeah, design is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, design is a
Um,
good one. It's a good chunk.
But that's at least how I kind of approach my work when I do professional stuff. It's like just when I have a moment of doubt, I usually go back to that question, like, who is this? What's her story?
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you are designing.
Yeah,
Like
of
it's
course, I'm
not only for
specifically talking about
characters.
characters.
Hmm.
Yeah, it all comes down to so many things. Like for instance, the big, medium, small shapes, like transitions, like that. Those are the more superficial things, but they're very
Mhm.
a design has to have appeal. Like you can have a technically sound design with correct anatomy, correct materials, correct folding, correct perspective, correct colors, correct everything. You can have all those technical things good, but if it doesn't have appeal, and appeal is a very abstract thing, of course, and it depends on looking at it, but it is important for it to have a certain. For instance, a style is a very good way to have an appeal for designs. Like people are attracted to certain styles, like wizard style or watch style. It's so hard. It's a good question though, but I don't know how to even start.
It might be, yeah, it's kind of broad.
It's a broad
Because like
question.
everything's different, and it's just like, do you nail what?
Well,
they do?
what we could do with this question, unless somebody questions, is like think of designs that we think are really good right now from games, for instance. Let's say Overwatch. What are some good designs from Overwatch? What are some bad designs for Overwatch? And why do we think they're good? Why do we think they're bad? But it doesn't have to be Overwatch. It can be like anything. For instance, Earthworm Jim. I know James has a lot of Earthworm Jim, for instance.
Yeah. I don't know. That's like so like opinion oriented.
Yeah, but there's definitely stuff that you can, I think, justify why Earthworm Jim is.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's
it's
good
it's
design, right?
yeah, it's good design and it's animated well, and they use just basically a lot of like animation principles, which a lot of games at that time didn't do, and just like a lot of like curve versus straight and all the good stuff.
Is there something from the Earthworm Jim design that you change or that you don't like?
The Sega versions, I feel, are not good because they take away a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
They like the backgrounds is the best example. Like the Super Nintendo has like these really amazing like fluid backgrounds that have like amazing rhythm, and they almost look like Frazetta paintings. And then, but the Genesis couldn't handle them or something, and so they just like cut them out and put these like really stiff backgrounds, and they stand out so much because the game is so fluid.
Right.
That a stiff background just kind of ruins the scenery. I think the PlayStation versions are like that for some reason too. But
maybe even the chat has some. I don't know if you have some cool
I
designs
know
that
a
you
good
think
one.
are interesting, or I don't know, like just share it. That you're like, oh my god, I love this character so much.
I guess on the topic of Earth and Jim, one thing that I like is the randomness, and I feel like people neglect that a bit too much.
The what?
The what?
Randomness.
The randomness.
Yeah, there's just like random things in the game, like a flying octopus with a gun, or it means a worm in a spacesuit. But I mean, like, I feel like that is more reflective of real life than we give credit to. Like, not like real life isn't perfectly designed. Nothing looks perfect, and so I think designs that embrace something a little random, a little odd, are the most successful. And I'm trying to think of a better example than Earth and Jim, but like a lot of Corey Loftus designs are like that too.
Ding,
You have a
ding,
character
ding,
that just has something weird. Yeah, I know.
ding.
Like just something weird, like I
Magic
don't know, like a
sword.
big tough guy who's like drinking tea or something, like because that's everything's like too perfect all the time, I think. And the person who can design something that's just a little odd, a little weird, and make it look normal, I think has value. Like that's good. And Ian McKay even does that too. He tries to sneak something a little random, a little contrast to the character in every design that he does.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good point that you're bringing, actually.
Playing Aladdin for the Super Nintendo right now, and there's flying chickens inside of a lamp.
Everything's working, yeah. Ooh, 30 people, that's cool. So what are you doing, Moldy? What kind of demon?
I am drawing a creature, but I was thinking of some kind of demon creature, but nothing too much. But I had another design that I was also thinking of doing, which was this weird dragon. But I'm not sure if it fits in the whole demon thing anyway. But I really wanted something weird that has like, everybody knows the dragon with like a lizard head, but a human head and almost like with human arms, like something. I actually got the idea from Princess Mononoke, the forest spirit. Of course, you haven't watched fucking Ghibli movies,
I haven't watched Ghibli movies. Sumi.
but
What is this, Carlos?
Dashi, you got me on this one. You know,
Yes, I got you. I got you, baby.
remember how most enigmatic the forest spirit looked? The very human.
I remember it, and I haven't watched the movie.
Okay, well, it's this very weird
Yeah, that's
combination of
right.
an animal with a human face, and I just kind of liked it. So I was thinking of combining that with the idea of a dragon. Awesome.
Oh.
But it doesn't fit too much in the demon, so I'm just sketching out some. I'm not sure if it will end up being for this universe or anything.
Sure.
We'll see. I just was drawing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jack is following up with sort of a question that, although a lot of designs are subjective, there are some good designs, like for instance, Xenomorph from Alien or the X-Wings from Star Wars. I'm trying to figure out what it is about certain designs, like those, or even you see an art station that are highly praised. I think a big part of those designs, for instance, the X-Wings, Xenomorph, Darth Vader.
I think it's because they established things more than them being good designs by themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I think I think that's a big part, but I think what next has to be important is it has to be iconic. Like you can draw an X-wing like this, and you're done. It's super.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it's very simple, and I think that's a very key factor to it. Like if it's a very simple, like if a kid can draw an X-wing, I think you're on the right track because it's very simple, iconic design. I think that's a good thing because it's people remember that. That's like also if you think about music, people remember the Star Wars tune or the Jurassic Park intro, but people don't remember the Avengers theme. And that's because the Avengers theme is not very melodic. It's very there isn't like if you think about it, you probably at least I can't think about it.
I remember it because it's the same as Overwatch.
It's sort of the same as Overwatch.
It's literally the Overwatch intro.
But I think the Star Wars and Jurassic Park theme are way more memorable. The Lord of the Rings one.
Mhm.
I don't know. But I think they're more simple in structure, and I think simple is a key word. But
Yeah,
maybe that's
definitely.
my opinion.
No, yeah, definitely.
yeah, I think there's a lot of factors, but I think in terms of Star Wars and even Alien, like those old classic designs, I kind of feel that goes back towards something that's a little random and unexpected. I mean, they're so established now that we don't really think of it that way, but those designs are pretty random, and that connects with us more because that's how real life is.
What do you mean with random? I'm just curious.
I guess
Because I can definitely see where they get their idea. For instance,
Yeah.
the xenomorph is totally a phallic object. I mean, H.R. Geiger was a weird guy. He was cool, but he's a weird guy. Let's be honest.
Right. I kind
What
like,
a
I feel like
dick.
the alien's a little bit more example of like something that's kind of random. But I mean, he did mix certain things in there. but,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah, he did mix phallic objects with human. And that's how you get the alien.
but I feel like Star Wars in particular, they didn't. I mean, they had like real engineers like design things, you know.
Yeah, but
As
also
opposed
if
to
you look,
concept artists, and I think sometimes you kind of have to throw away your design fundamentals. Sometimes to get something that looks realistic, because I think like modern designs aren't as iconic. At least I think so. Maybe other people disagree, but it's because they're just too perfect. Like I guess the best example is like the Klingons, the new ones that they for the Star Trek Discovery. It's like, who the hell in the Klingon world is like such a fashion designer that they can make this like perfectly in sync uniform? That doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
And to me, it bothers me. Whereas the old Klingons, their costumes are like very natural because like not everything like is a triangle. Not everything fits together. You have like a weird, odd dagger that doesn't look like anything else in the uniform. I feel like those little elements make a believable, good, iconic design sometimes, or a costume. I guess I'm
No,
talking
I
about costumes.
completely agree with you there because like I was actually thinking now that you mentioned like everything being too perfect these days, I was thinking about I did not see the Beauty and the Beast movie when it came out, but based on the trailers and the Cinderella movie that I saw, it's unsettling how perfectly everything's designed and how fake it all feels. Like you don't get immersed within the universe because it's so overly designed that you're kind of just you feel like you're in a set. You don't feel like you're actually in that world, and I think that's where it like designing too much like begins it starts to be kind of detrimental.
Yeah. Well, that's a good example because like European cities, I think, are a good example. You have like Venice, Italy. You have stuff from like 1900s or the 900s, like Gothic stuff, and then you have Renaissance stuff, and then you have Baroque stuff, and then you have stuff that they stole from the Turkish people or somebody and stuck on a building. So it's like super hodgepodge and totally random, not in sync, and it's like the most
Indeed.
beautiful thing ever. And I think that's because it's realistic. And and I think Star Wars does that. Like they have layers of kind of unrelated weird things all together, and it just looks good because it
But
looks
they
real.
also are doing like the binding stuff that we were. For instance, I think I said this earlier in the Discord. If you look at Darth Vader's outfit, like samurai
Yeah.
armor, but like sci-fi, like they just put fucking lights and buttons on his chest and made it black, and that's it. There you have, and the gas mask, like and it's super iconic. Like it's this one image that everybody just knows, with the triangular mouth thing and the cap. Like, there you go. It's fucking Darth Vader.
Yeah, I like his design. I think it's actually a little bit ugly by today's standards.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of
He's
ugly.
super stupid. And if you look at the old ones in the movies, it had like fingerprints and everything. It's super ugly.
Yeah.
But that's real,
Yeah, it's cool.
That's what. Yeah, I don't think people go looking for flaws, but when you see them unconsciously, I think they appreciate them.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. Like if you see Rogue One, for example, the new helmet is spotless,
so
like super polished. No human
Yeah,
has ever touched that.
it's weird to me. It's like, are they trying to sell Darth Vader helmets at like JCPenney or something? It's like, why are they polished?
Who knows, man?
Yeah. Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Panda Boo Boo.
Lightsabers.
I clapped.
Sorry for any Star Wars fans that are in chat, right?
I'm not sorry.
Let's check if there are questions. Chat.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the chat.
Yeah, I just have.
No,
need-
we
yeah,
don't have
myself.
Mario as moderator.
We lost Mario. Never forget. Whew.
Okay, we have another one. Regarding character story, how much story do you feel of this is from Cameron88.
Mhm.
Regarding character story, how much story do you feel is needed to be able to create a character? Like, do you need to know all the lore of the character, or is having some of it unknown a plus? This can be personal or client work.
It is absolutely a plus.
I think it's always a plus
It's
to
always a
know.
plus.
But
When you manage to provoke this feeling of mystery, it is all the better.
yeah, I have to say it's not always required that much, but it depends a lot on what kind of job you're doing. For
Yeah.
instance,
Do it.
yeah, I don't know you can know, but I work for Riot Games. I do mostly skin concept art, and I don't actually play League of Legends all that much. Actually, I don't play it at all. But I
How
get
dare
briefed
you.
by my team, they are amazing, and I love working with them. And they always tell me like what the character is about and stuff like this. But like, I'm definitely not as big of a fan as of course some of the gamers are of League of Legends. Like they're
Those
totally agree with these characters and they know way more than I do. A good example actually of this stuff happening is of course the red shirt guy that everybody knows from WoW. I don't know if you guys know the red shirt guy, but it's a hilarious moment. But you don't know it, Carlos?
What?
Okay, so there's this moment that I think it's BlizzCon like a
Yeah.
couple of years back, and they were doing like a lore Q&A with like the writers of WoW. And then there comes this one guy in a red shirt, and he asks this question about an inconsistency in the lore that he
Oh, I know.
actually found. And like the guys who wrote the were like, no, we don't know this stuff. And it's like super interesting to see how people are like way deeper in the lore than some of the creators are.
I know.
So-
Yeah. Like corrected
It
Chris
shows
Nesson.
that I don't think you need to be that deep in the lore, but like Dashi said, of course, knowing the lore, knowing the character is really important.
Yeah, that's not necessarily maybe my point though. My point is more like it's not as much telling the story like of the game you're working on, but it's more like when I'm talking about telling a story with your character design is that you kind of tell the story of that particular character as in who he is, like what is his personality, what
alright.
does what's his primary function, like if you can get I feel like I need to make more bullet points about that because I'm not that well spoken when I'm put on the spot. But there is a point to all this. I promise.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, I think story means different things, to be honest. Like, I know everybody says, like,
Yes.
oh, you gotta have
Story and lore are not the same, by the way.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like
Yes, that's kind of my point.
That's a big point.
it's not like you can look at a character and you know who like its grandparents are or something. Like, I think when people talk about story and character design, like a lot of it is just like gesture.
Yes.
Like, you can just do a good gesture. Like they look scared or they're like leaning over. Like who cares? Who cares about? They're just leaning over like because they're curious or something. And it's like that's a more solid story than like a very complicated looking stiff person, you know.
And I think that especially in James your work that's very prevalent. Like you do I feel like the stories you tell with the character designs you do, they're like I love that. Like I love how rich with story and character your characters are, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. You too. Like, I think that just makes a difference because you're really expressive too. And like, I feel like that's what people need when somebody looks at a portfolio and they say you need more story. I mean, really, what they're trying to say is you need better gesture.
Oftentimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But story, although I think like you guys, like most of it is in the pose and gesture. I think a lot of the story can also be details.
Yeah,
absolutely,
things,
for sure.
absolutely.
It's funny. We were actually talking about incorporating story in smaller things this morning. At least I was talking with Ashia
Yes, we were.
about uh, if you like, for instance, if you take let's take a hero that's Junkrat because we're working about him and you're working on. At first glance, he's like this crazy maniac. That's already giving away his character, which is a good thing. That's the first read. And the second read is that you notice he has lost like his limb and his arm. So that kind of tells he's either like very reckless or he had an accident or something. This one definitely part of his character. So like you can incorporate character stuff and story stuff, small.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. But I totally agree. Like gesture is the main thing. Totally. I remember when I discovered it that I sort of like and I'm still not dead or anything, but I'm noticing that I'm very stiff with gestures and poses. And I was like, need to do need to work on this stuff.
It's
So
because
that's
it's
why
already very difficult to make an interesting design and also in an interesting gesture that
Yeah.
also works with the design, you know, like and shows everything you
Yeah.
want to show. Like those are completely different worlds. You don't have to torture yourself trying to do everything.
But it's also fun sometimes.
No,
For
no,
instance,
it's definitely fun.
I'm happy with the merchant guy that I made. Like,
Yeah.
he has a lot of character. He has some cool designs. I don't know. I
Definitely.
like him a lot.
Just try, and if it works, it works. If it
Yeah,
doesn't,
sometimes it
don't
doesn't, but it's
torture
fine.
yourself. It's okay, yeah.
But just just in case nobody knows what we're talking about, I think we're like an animation gesture, like the fluid motion and line of action,
Mm-hmm.
more so than just like a 3D kind of base. Which I mean that's kind of part of the gesture too. That it's like the weight and the action that they're doing,
Yeah.
like alternating the hips and the shoulders and kind of thing. That'll create a story whether you want to or not. Like just give a little weight to one side or something.
Beep boop.
Yeah. Seeing if there are questions that I did some, and otherwise people have to again in the chat. I think it's okay.
I'm not even looking at the chat, sorry.
No, it's fine.
I have it on the other screen, but...
Yeah, I'm sitting on my couch playing Aladdin and watching you guys paint.
That's cool. You've been working in
Yeah, you totally
a
deserve
couple
a
of
break.
days, so you totally need a.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch for everybody one day soon, so
Yeah,
I'll make up for it.
stream some
But
Aladdin.
Aladdin break is warranted at this point. Don't worry about it.
Well,
Hashtag
Jack
Aladdin
was
break.
saying earlier that if we're planning on doing another stream in the future like this, he would love to do this. He would love to see this regularly. So that's a good
Nice.
thing. People like this, guys. Yay.
Hooray!
Oh, that's pretty good.
Hey, maybe I could do something else other than fan art next time.
So
The
what?
fan art
Who
is
cares?
fine. Look at the fucking Junkrat. Look at those fucking gestures and the motion and the twirls and the dynamics of it. Jesus.
There you go.
It's just coming out really slow because I'm always so nervous drawing on stream.
also
Usually I
drawing
get this done a little
super
faster.
Slow. Yeah, I'm also super slow.
Yeah, same.
But fuck it.
Yeah, drawing live would be hard. So it's just like change my mind so much.
Yeah, and like designing live would be like.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Like, oh no, they're gonna see all the mistakes I make, as if I
Yeah.
never make any.
Do you remember even Amundsen, Baldi?
Yeah,
Drawing live?
it's crazy. But he's been doing it so many times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who?
It's second nature.
Evan Amundsen.
Evan.
Yeah, I went to a school's event. And it wasn't him, it was another guy, but he did a live drawing. It was really good. And I was like really impressed. And I found out he does that same drawing every single time, and like
Yeah.
Oh
he
yeah.
even said at the thing, like he's like, I actually did this before, and it took me hours to figure out the first time. So it makes it
That's
look
what
like
even
you do it in
does.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Yeah,
easy.
I would love to stream all the time, but to be honest, this is just one random day where Baldi is not working on anything. I'm waiting for feedback. So we were just sketching.
What brush are you using, Carlos?
Tyson's.
Is it the bristle?
No, this is his particular one.
It's sitting too far back. Yeah.
Yeah, I just zoom in so you will see it.
Oh. You know, I don't like it. You know, people get mad when people ask for like brushes and stuff.
No,
But I always ask people what their brushes are.
brushes are cool.
I never
Problem is-
But
change.
it's I think it depends a lot on like level that you are and
Yeah.
how you deal with brushes, because
Yeah.
you don't see brushes as a tool to like, oh, if I have his brushes, I can paint like him. You see it as a tool to use it in your own way. The common mistake
Yeah.
of like really young artists start like, oh, if I get the brushes of this guy, I can paint like.
Start out with a square brush and learn to do everything. And if you want to try
Oh.
everything else, try ZX brushes, then cry yourself to sleep, and then go back to the square brush.
Yeah.
I think this also applies to different types of gear, like that you can get.
Yeah. Cintiq is not going to make you better. It's going to make you faster if you're really good. Definitely.
By the way, I'm posting ArtStation chat if you're fine with that, because Jack was asking, because we're all doing amazing art as he says, so he wants portfolios or tumblers or whatever.
But you're posting it for us?
Yeah, I'm posting it for you, so don't.
Yeah, sure.
I'll also post yours.
Equality.
You probably don't have the rights to do it. Or the
Hmm?
permissions.
What?
I said I probably don't even have the permissions to post in the chat.
Yes, you do.
Of course you do. It's my chat.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know how that stuff works.
You don't need any permissions to post on anybody's chat.
Oh, you don't?
You don't
Oh, I
know
thought, like,
me.
Twitch blocked
You
it.
don't know me.
Unless you're banned. Yeah, I don't know. You don't need anything.
Oh, what do I know? Okay.
Well, you know some things.
Apparently a lot, my dear.
I don't know anything about computers.
No, yeah, that's true.
We should have a command for all the portfolios, by the way.
Yeah, mine is on the bottom, but we should totally make a command for these kind of things
Yeah.
in the future.
So here are the art stations of us, and you can probably in the art station you can find Twitter and Facebook stuff, whatever. But check everyone out, everyone here. Stuff. And I'm super happy to change. All right. I'm not sure it's good enough.
Carlos, you're so fast.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
that. Just look at that. Look at it. Look at it.
Yeah. Rendering is
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, I could do this with my eyes closed, with my hands tied.
Yeah, but don't
behind
make
my
me do the drawing.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Which everybody in this group pretty much draws with paint. Don't.
Oh, by the way, we had another question. Silly question. What's your Overwatch mains, Cameron?
Ah,
It's quite an assumption then. Play
That's not a
Overwatch.
silly question. It's very important in our daily lives.
So Dashi, how about you start? Since Overwatch is your thing.
My thing.
Your
I'm a 300-hour Mercy, and I do Widowmaker, Sombra, and my recent love Zenyatta. We have embraced tranquility a lot together recently.
The way you said that was okay hand emoji times 11
Eyes emoji.
eyes emoji.
We need like a brow wiggle emoji. I'd like that.
If the Twitch goes fine, and when I can do emojis, I'm going to make an emoji that says okay hand emoji. I'm going to be
I
that
love
meta.
that.
Well, my mains are. Well, I'm mainly Junkrat actually, but I also like to play. I think it's mainly Junkrat and Zarya. I think ones. I do play them all actually pretty average, but Junkrat and Zarya are my mains.
I feel like that's very descriptive of your personality.
Really?
Yeah, Zarya and Junkrat.
Okay. Okay.
Just take it. Just take it. Run with it.
And Mario is screaming Symmetra.
Mario never
Second,
goes
yeah.
away. Mario for
Alright.
life.
You know, if I'm still here, I'll just work dragon character. Not sure what's.
I'm a handsome main.
You
I'm
filth.
making
I am filthy
squinty eyes at you.
You filth.
Nah.
until my team cries too much for me to handle, and then I switch to Zarya usually.
I didn't know you were Zarya.
I
Got it.
always play Zarya, yeah. Because it's the only way for me to win matches.
That's
Otherwise
for me
it's-
too. That's why I actually play her in
Yeah, I have to
competitive.
carry people. Otherwise,
And she certainly is strong enough to carry all of them on her back.
that's true. That's accurate. So let's say a lot of Game of Thrones spoilers.
What? Game
Let's
of
say a lot
Thrones?
of Game of Thrones spoilers. I don't know what to say, so this is like holding the chat hostage.
I'm not sure if Game of Thrones, if Game of Thrones spoilers, if they're a thing, or if that's just another meme. Like everybody's just Game of Thrones spoilers, even though there's no spoilers, is because it's just a meme. And especially
knows
because
anymore?
it's you saying it, Carlos. I'm a little doubtful.
Who knows anymore, dear?
Yeah. I don't know where Carlos begins and meme starts. And sorry.
Damn it!
Sorry, it's
Fucking Aladdin.
Fucking
platform.
Aladdin, fucking
Jafar.
Abu, son of a
I
bitch,
still-
monkey.
Carlos, can you still try purple?
Hmm?
I still want to see purple.
Purple where?
Like instead of the blue. Curious.
In the fire things or in the?
In the eyes and the smoky thing.
I
Well,
can.
Is it on a separate
totally-
layer?
Yeah,
No.
of course it is. Because I know you.
Thank you.
That's magenta. Something
White.
like this.
I can type. Now I see it.
Yeah, of course, it takes some time.
Oh yeah. I like the pinky ones.
This works. Everything
it.
works, to be honest, at this point.
I like pink.
I really
Anything
like
works.
the golden face on her. It's just I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I can throw a D20. Like,
Well, if you keep it all separate, we can do it decide later. It's fine.
roll for
Just-
Hugh.
God. Such a good design.
I feel like also the yellow, like what you were suggesting it earlier, but I feel like also the yellow and the green work pretty good.
Yeah.
Any of this works. So,
Yeah, everything's good.
let's pick one. Eventually.
Yeah, we'll pick it eventually. It's fine.
Yeah,
I just
okay.
want to see it as a Christmas present.
I'm not going to finish it today, so.
No, it's fine. I think we've been streaming. So
For 1.5 hours. I think.
Oh, that's not even that much actually.
Not that much.
I
We
thought
can
that was
stop after
that
2
we
hours.
were like streaming for 4 hours or something.
What did you say? Sorry.
No, I thought I was that we were streaming
Oh no.
time, but
You can hear James cursing on the background because he's playing Aladdin.
I hear that game's actually pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's it's cool. I'm playing the Super Nintendo version. I like the platforming. It's very different. It's like a lot more focused on like doing flips and acrobatic spins and stuff.
It was by Capcom, right?
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good.
their Disney stuff was so good.
I like it better than the Genesis version. Everybody says that's the best one, but it certainly looks better. But I don't think it plays better. That's my opinion, though.
And I have a big bias for the Super Nintendo soundtracks on games that were later ported to Genesis as well. Like Mega Man X3, no contest. Just no contest.
What do you think is
Best
better?
game soundtrack.
You think it's better?
Super Nintendo version is better.
Yeah. I feel that way. All the games that were cross-platform back then, or Super Nintendo had the better everything.
Yeah.
Except for like Mortal Kombat, it had more blood in the Genesis. Genesis did have some awesome, like Streets of Rage. I don't think Super Nintendo had a proper equivalent to that.
I love that game.
Yeah.
I don't know it.
I'm
It's
sure
on
if you see a
Steam,
video you will
actually.
know it.
I listen to the soundtrack actually all the time. It's so good.
I'm still astonished we have 27 people watching Quick Stream.
Yeah, really, man.
Yeah.
Carlos is so popular.
27 people. Wow. We aren't even showing faces. Or sexy faces.
Right. I need to show my I need to show my cleavage.
Cleavage contest! How to get banned from Twitch.
Oh, that's right.
Is that the way?
That's the way.
Can guys be shirtless on Twitch?
Pretty sure, yeah, they can.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Can you just be in your underwear?
I don't think so.
That almost sounded like you.
But you could always make the you could always make the argument that we're wearing bikini.
Yeah.
This is all
Also,
for
like-
science, right, James?
Say what?
This is all for science only. Like, you're not
Yeah.
intending to appear on Twitch naked or anything.
No. Oh, I'm just thinking, like, if you really want to, like, be like you're in your living room, But no, I wouldn't do that. I'm just surprised I haven't seen it.
Are you drawing now?
I'm writing down the passwords.
Oh.
Every time you beat a level, you get like a passcode because it
Man,
doesn't save.
didn't you have internet? Seriously.
No,
You're not
James
alone.
wants the authentic experience, like how it was back then.
Yes.
Adorable.
I like that actually. Do any games do that now, or you have to like find passwords for stuff? I guess it'd be pointless since
It's
you
totally
can just
pointless.
look everything.
There
up.
are games these days just have cheats just in the menu. You can just turn them. I think.
Yeah, not even.
If they have cheats.
Yeah,
You
like
don't
a
even need
def,
the code.
like a test your def menu.
Yeah. Like if you want unlimited money, you can do it. But usually, if you turn that on, like you can't get achievements or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's usually how it goes.
I want to make a game that has passwords for no reason and cheat codes just for fun.
But remember that there were some really fun cheats, for instance, in Age of Empires 1, I think. Like
Oh yeah, the car.
The car. Yeah, the
Fucking
car.
car.
You can get a car with lasers, I think, that could shoot out.
Yeah, no, like uses.
People do that on multiplayer. It's totally cheating.
And Age of Mythology had the hippos, flying hippos showing hearts.
But yeah, there were. Jeez.
Those were the days.
Or remember in the days of The Sims, where if you did move all objects on, move everything, and then, for instance, if your character died, and the death character came to take your body, you could actually, if you with this cheat on, you could pick him up and drown death in your. And I don't know, you could do all kinds of weird.
That's already Sims 2, right?
Oh, maybe that's already Sims 2. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't play it.
In the later parts, you can also flirt with death, to my understanding, and I think
Oh my god.
that's even more powerful.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
That's definitely a thing.
That's definitely. Jack says he loves all our arts, and
Oh, thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
they're a
Jack's good
feast for the
people.
eye. Jack's good.
Yeah, yeah.
We like Jack.
By the way, if you guys want feedback or I don't know, portfolio reviews, you want us to bash your shit,
Passion.
you can also bash our shit by.
Oh, you can totally destroy us if you want to.
It's a problem.
This piece you did 5 years ago sucked.
Well, it's true.
Bunch of hack frauds.
Hack frauds.
I'd love a review. There we go, guys.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm pretty bad at giving giving feedback on others' work, but
You want to give it a try? Oh my god, this is. All right, I'm gonna start. Like,
Ooh.
Because it depends on what somebody wants. Like,
yeah, that's what I was about to say. That it depends on what you're going for.
yeah,
but
yeah.
I can point out what I like. That's why I think I'm good at that.
yeah. I wouldn't do well for somebody when to like do ZBrush film stuff. I'd be like, I don't know, man.
I don't know you.
Oh no.
Oh, that's different. Like a whole portfolio review is completely different from a piece.
Yeah.
So
The one
yeah.
thing, I was gonna ask Ryan because I'm looking. What are your goals? Like,
Oh yeah, that's
Then
important.
taking it as a portfolio review instead of
yeah, it's actually a Tumblr, I think, but sort of approaching it as a portfolio. But that's like I was about to say.
yeah, it's a Tumblr.
Yeah, but I was going to say that if you really want the portfolio, like I would. That's another.
I would
yeah.
say first off, come to ArtStation because
Yeah.
all the beef is right there.
Are you on ArtStation? I'm check if he's on ArtStation.
And
He
I'm not
is.
saying it's good, but all the beef is on ArtStation.
I'm trying to get into a studio in a Vista. Prefer character Vista. All right. Yeah, I can definitely see that. You guys are also watching or not?
Yeah, I have.
I can see. I'll have to get a little closer to see it though.
Okay.
You're watching on your phone?
No, I have it on the Cintiq.
Okay.
That's like really far away from me. I'll have to get off my
I think you're going very, very good in a good direction with stuff.
Yeah.
I think there are a few gamey stuff like for these things that are I don't usually see these in this stuff. I definitely can see that you're put there to show that you can do this stuff, and I think like overall, by the way, I think you have a very nice art style, some really good fundamentals and variety. Like I see some gorgeous. I think this is like my favorite piece of everything that I've seen. So just very cool characters. And
I think I know what you're going to point out.
what is it? Dashi.
Oh, it wasn't that. I thought you were going to point out the devil guy because I have it up
Oh.
on my screen and oh god, I love it.
This guy.
Yeah, with the bucket. Oh, it's so cool. He's like a janitor.
Yeah, I like it, but it's not my favorite. I don't actually. Yeah, I do like the idea. I think you have a.
Also, I think the page, like the only wisdom or attempt at wisdom I can give here is that this gives me a very Viz Devi feel, and
Yeah.
I like it. I like that.
There are some weaker pieces and inconsistencies, but that may be because there are some older pieces here, and that's what I was about to say about using a Tumblr as a portfolio. Like, I would not do that. Like, I would just make a nice art station or something. Art station is fine, just like Carlos was saying.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's very. And I've actually just looked up your art station, and there's some cool stuff, but also some stuff that I would there on your art station because I think you're at the further now already. Like, for instance, I have your art station here, and I like definitely a lot of this stuff, but this one I think is just. I can see why you put it there, but I think it pales a bit with some of the more face stuff. Like this stuff is just great, just beautiful. I love these characters.
Yeah. Like your portfolio is as strong as your weakest piece.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your portfolio is strong as your weak point, is your weakest piece, and this one is a bit weak. Also, don't like this character that much. No, I this out. I can definitely see you're trying like you have a lot of sort of way more detailed and like realistic designs. These are technical stuff, and then you have also these very quirky designs. I would love to see maybe even more quirky. I don't know. I just think they're more fun. But that's my opinion. I hope you, switch over to ArtStation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you guys have some more things to. Also, put these on ArtStation. These are fucking.
Yeah, those are super cool.
These are really, really good.
I feel like as far as getting employed these days, we were talking about portfolios earlier, and I was thinking about that for a little bit. And I feel these days, at least considering, like, depending on what kind of work or what kind of companies you're going to go for, but I feel social media presence or the fact that you put stuff out there can be more important in acquiring a job or a client than a good portfolio, like good social media presence.
If you know what company you want to work for, just find some people in the company and add them on Facebook straight away. Don't feel shame or anything. It's completely normal. And yeah, they will see your stuff at least. A bit of luck.
Yeah, most of my or my biggest jobs that I've had, or like even the positions that I've held, like in studios, they've usually been through social media or when I've been to vend at conventions. Like they've made much more of a difference in my career, and I've been consistently doing this for 6 years, a little over 6 years, and
6 years.
Yes, 6 years.
I'm just saying you are not experienced.
Yeah, but it's not concept art that I've been doing.
Still.
Yeah.
You have more professional experience.
Yeah, but I still
A
feel
lot
like
more than
I
me.
am. I feel like I'm still in like baby boots. Like I'm still learning because I am kind of moving to a new country and like getting into a new scene as I've kind of started doing over here. It's a whole different ball game. Everything's so big, and I feel like I have so much to learn. And quite frankly, I couldn't be more excited about that. I really love the fact that I am not like, or I'll never be ready. There's always so much to learn. But I feel like I'm also in a position where I have a lot to learn because this is a field, like concept art is a field that I have not taken seriously before because I thought I could never, I could never get that far. I could never get to that point. But now I'm doing it for work, so yeah.
Hmm. Nice. I'm happy you do because
You
it's more
deserve
of
it.
your own.
Yeah, but I'm rambling now. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. We actually our chat is fucking getting lively up in here. The next one is from Near, and he says, "Crit my character, buddy." So I'm pretty sure you guys can also.
Oh yeah,
Let me pull it up. There we go.
I will destroy anything.
Oh shit, Near
I know
from
that one.
yeah, from Omnom. Oh shit.
You already follow
She's
him.
cute.
Her.
This looks. This is just. We're just gonna
Yeah, it's from
ask. Is this
Omnom.
one?
Are you
Yeah.
trolling us?
There's not that much to crit, but let me think. I think it's just a character.
Holy shit.
I would a few things in terms of design that I might reconsider. For instance, the orange spikes. I do like them, but be careful of your transitions or mindful of the transitions. Like, just don't stick it on there. I think that's a very like. I like your transitions everywhere. I have some transitions with these on her shoulder, these laces on her.
Mhm.
But these
Uh,
orange spikes, they just shout out like too much. I just don't see the transition. I would definitely definitely work on something like that. Transition, by the way, is a topic that I'm actually I always love to talk about.
it's a hard one, definitely.
Yeah, but transitions in design just is a very important thing, and like it's a difference that can make a design appeal way more. Like, for instance, if you're drawing a sword, you can draw it like this.
Do you have the Paul Richards link?
Yeah, I think I'll
Because
just
that's going to be useful, I think, for anybody who's
yeah, I
who
think
doesn't have
I'll
it.
just pull that up. I think that's a useful one for anyone who
Yeah,
is
that's the
is,
go-to.
is guys, just look at this entire wall of text, but especially this image here. I'll just put aren't linking to it, but if you look at this image, this clearly explains what I mean with transitions. Like, don't stick things onto each other like with glue. Make it transition into the next object. So if you're having an object transition, so for instance, something metal has to attach to leather, think about how that would transition. Sometimes with rings, sometimes with laces. Like, there has to be some transition, or a metal hilt or pommel attached to the hilt, like cap it, or like this sword that you can see in this demonstration, or like a tree. If you have a tree, which you can see in this example, don't just stick it on the ground. Make it transition. Have the foliage grow on top of it. Have some bushes around. Transition it nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a point that you can definitely apply to the design. Like, don't just stick spikes on it, like just paste it on it. Just make it transition a little bit, like make it flow in the body or make it part of the design. I think that's the main thing I would say. But I think it's a really cool character. Nice job. I like the colors a lot. I think it's awesome. Maybe you guys have something to say about it?
No, you pretty much nailed it.
Okay.
I
The
like the
colors are good.
shapes overall, like the round, large shapes of it. Love
The
it.
boots are amazing.
Yes,
Yes, I
and the
love it.
horns and the hair I like.
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Feels coherent. I like it.
All right, next one. I don't think I'll do go drawing it. Just be chat moderator.
By the way, I think this goes without saying, but never be afraid of asking for feedback to someone
No.
that knows more than you. or even if they don't know more than you, even if it's just a programmer on your team, it's good to know.
All right.
Like
We have another one.
nobody's a one-man army except for Cory Loftis. That's the only one-man army in this world.
Yeah. Guys,
Another
if you don't
another
know
penny
Cory
to the Cory
Loftus,
Loftus jar.
Yep.
exactly.
We just
Yeah.
take a shot every time somebody mentions Cory Loftis.
We need if we're gonna do this stream more often, we need some Cory Loftus either commands or
Yeah,
emojis or whatever.
Yeah. It needs to be like an animated GIF or something.
All right, next one because we have a lot of them. So we
Mhm.
have to. The next one is from Yago Kani. Can you say something for me? Question mark. Double dot 3 cute face emoji. So let's pull it up.
You had me at cute face emoji.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna adapt that to my regular rotation now.
Let's see. So again, the same question goes for you. Like I kind of already see, I think, what you want to work for, but I'm just gonna ask it anyway. So what do you want to work for? If you can answer that, I think it's gonna be Blizzard. Like I see a lot of Warcraft stuff.
You and me, we are kin.
Oh yeah, by the way, chat. Yeah, I know. Cory Loftis' wife works at Blizzard. It's amazing.
What? He works at Blizzard?
Yeah, Cory Loftis' wife.
Oh,
she
his
works at
wife.
Blizzard.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's see. There's a lot of stuff. Damn, you're productive, man. Holy shit.
That's an extensive portfolio.
Mm-hmm. All right. Technically, I think I already see anything, and that's about your approach to color. I think you are. If correct me if I'm wrong, but you're working from grayscale to color a lot.
Wait.
What?
Chat.
I'm doing for Bliss portfolio. So he's doing a
No.
portfolio for Bliss.
I think there's already a bunch of like really good shapes, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
and good gesture in many
Yeah.
of these.
Yeah, I think the most part is has to work on color and
Yeah.
value. I think that's really a technical thing that you can definitely work on. Your
Mhm.
shapes are good, your gestures are nice, but your colors are very muddy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like your highlights are very dull, your shadows are very dull, your contrast is everywhere the same. Like if you're doing a design like this, have the contrast in the place where we want and lower the contrast on other places. I can see it a little bit, but you can push this way more. Like there's definitely too much very dark and very light color all over the place. Also work a little bit on your material, your golds. They're good, they're definitely getting there. I'm not bad, but
Yeah.
just a little bit more, I think. But mainly colors and values. I think that's a really, really important thing. Your gestures and shapes are there. You got the Warcraft style. I totally see that. These designs look pretty dope. Yeah, it's cool. Maybe show some more of these. We also got ourselves feedback on our portfolios, and they love to see iterations. Like stuff like this is great. And
Sorry, I was on mute and I was like talking.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, James.
No, I was
Hi,
muted. I
James.
was like, nobody's responding.
Did you want to say something, James? Tell us.
Yeah, I was just saying there's no areas of rest
Mm-hmm.
and most of the work. I mean, I was saying like look at what Carlos is doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
How soft a lot of the shadows are, or like little contrast. Like in her head, it's like yellow to orange.
Yeah.
It's
With
pretty,
the dark shadow underneath.
yeah, it's pretty low contrast, but like
Very good one.
I feel like you kind of have like
Take your
dark
black
to
and white, your values.
Yeah, you kind of you don't always have to make it like go from light to dark. You can do from yellow to orange, or stuff like that, like color change, or what do you call that? Value change is accompanied by hue change, and that I feel defines the Blizzard coloring philosophy
Yeah.
that you should want to go for. And also, like, some of your stuff, I can see you using a lot of adjustment layers, which is fine to get a base, but I think you need to go over a little bit more with the normal brush and just kind of soften all of this stuff up. Not
Yeah.
literally soften, like, don't use a soft brush, but like maybe like a textured brush and like kind of lower some of that contrast with like a normal layer and
Yeah.
give it some rest.
Also, it's about what I earlier said. It's okay if you and then to color, but it needs some more after that. Like, don't leave it after just adding the simple. It needs some um, more vibrant hues after that. You have to paint on top of it a bit more, I think, to bring that color up a bit. But yeah, I think that those are the main points. But you're definitely getting there. It's looking good.
Basically, okay, the way I see it is basically all your shapes have to point to the face, right?
Yeah.
Or to the focal point. In this case, in this case, is the face. Whoop, mistake. So you can totally see that.
Mhm.
But you can also do the same with the shadows and the values and the contrast and every other thing in the composition.
See, I'm a complete beginner in this stuff because I'm learning so much as we speak.
So this is the money right
Yeah.
there. That's why I'm rendering that first
Yeah.
before I get tired. And then if that works, everything else is just like a basic shadow shape going in that direction, and everything else is going to work perfectly.
Yes. All right. I think we got most of it for Yagiskani, if I say that right.
Yeah. Just try some new stuff too, man. I can see it seems like you're using the same method over and over. I'd recommend maybe just try something totally weird and different, just to shake things up.
Highly recommended.
Like normal, just try to do a painting with just normal layers. Don't switch over to that, but just see what happens. And you
Try
might-
to do a flat drawing, like Gareth Hanna or whatever, like a completely different style, just to understand what they do and why they do it. Because it's the same basics. You're going to come across the same problems, like contrast and values and the same things, but in a completely different environment.
I like your sketches, by the way. Sketches are good. Your rough sketches. But yeah, cool stuff. All right, well, let's do the next one because we got, I think.
Yeah, it can be for more, like 15 more minutes if you want.
Yeah, something like that.
Same here.
So we got that one. Evam 000.
What are you looking at?
I'd love if you guys look. So we'll bring it up. Maeve Broadbean. Concept artist at High Res Studio. You're already there.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, in Georgia, right?
No, the Alpharetta, United States of America. That's the one.
I don't know where that is.
Me either, but I'm not from America. I don't know. So
You don't know, you.
I don't know. Yeah, so you're already there. Are you trying to get somewhere else, Eve? I'm just calling you Eve because.
Well, they want to improve their artwork. Let's just talk about that, I guess.
Just talk about the art. Yeah, we can do that.
I am following this.
I feel like some of the colors are a little dull.
Yeah, that's
again,
my,
that's the same thing with like hue change, with the value change. Like it seems like you're just going like a dark color and a light color of the same hue.
I do like some of your shapes. I actually styles shapes, but it definitely needs some work on the forms. Like the little tower on top is very flat, whereas the bottom actually feels more 3D-ish. Yeah. And some of the other things look a bit dull, like James was saying.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, you could probably just spend more time drawing like a little under sketch or under painting. Spend a little more time rendering it. You know, just do some studies and stuff. Like it doesn't look like you don't know what you're doing. You know, it looks like you do know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You just have to just do some more studies.
That was a really weird phrasing.
Yeah. I think a very important thing is working on your forms. If I look at, for instance, as fish, it feels very, very flat. This could be, if I look at the lighting, it could definitely feel volumetric. Work on, like, be aware of ambient occlusion. I don't see a lot of ambient occlusion everywhere, and be aware of it. Like, look at, I think we can pull the demon chick that Carlos is working on often for this, but look at the ambient occlusion pockets that are going on in the places where light has a hard time to get to. Be aware of all the nooks and crannies on the houses that you're making. I see it, you use it in some places, but in other places that would sort of have the same amount of ambient occlusion, it's not there. And that's this inconsistency makes it look very unfinished. And I think that's the thing that maybe James was talking about. Right?
Unfinished. Yeah. Looks a little unfinished.
I do like your designs and ideas. Love to see more. Maybe also the sketches. Like add the sketches to these pieces. I would love to see, for instance, the iterations at the watch house. Maybe even to initial
I
sketches.
think the designs are cool. The light is cool, but you're missing like the final touch, like the appeal.
Right.
Like final touches that look accidental, even some color variations, crazy brushstrokes. I don't know. Try some of that.
Yeah, I think this unicorn statue, the very first portfolio, I think that unicorn looks awesome. It has like these little nicks and cracks and stuff. And, like, it's nice, but then like you see that tree right above it.
Yeah.
And it just looks undesigned. Like the base of the tree, like the trunk, it's just like it's kind of just like bumpy.
Yeah, grab some reference for this stuff. It looks a lot like you winged this tree, and I think it's good if you grab some reference for it.
Right, but you can get some curve in there, like
Fine.
the bottom side of the tree, just like one straight line all the way to the tip of the leaves. Just one straight line, and the other side, just make it nice and curvy and shapes that are nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, find the DreamWorks artists. They make the best trees. Like if you literally Google DreamWorks tree, I'm sure you're going to find some stuff from the art books.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
what I'm saying.
have
Like
the
just
best
more
designs.
studies.
Yeah, but it's definitely getting there.
Yeah.
Also, hi Tim. Nice.
Yeah, I like many of the designs
Hello.
here. Like I like the ideas a lot.
I actually really like, now that I look at these designs, the visual development, like most bottom one, the backpack. I think there are some really cool designs and shapes going on. Also in
True.
terms of the trees, they're definitely a bit different style, but
I think these are stronger too because they have better colors and the shapes are more defined.
yeah. Yeah, cool. I hope this helps you, Eve. I hope you can do. And otherwise, oops, I don't know. But it's definitely getting there. Pretty good. And you're already working at high res.
Yeah. High-res is pretty nice.
All right. Let's see.
One last.
One last one.
Yeah.
We have
two.
two. We have two more. We can do
Okay,
two
we're gonna
more,
do two.
I think. Cameron 88. Did we already do that one? No, right? No, we didn't. All right. Cameron 88 is the next one. He's a night owl from the United Kingdom. That's interesting. Let's see. So again, maybe same question. Like, where do you want to work for? Like, what kind of work are you looking for? I see you're a freelancer, so maybe you're for some something you like to do. Because this helps. I can definitely see a lot of characters, so I'm assuming you are very into character design. All right, Tim, take care. See ya.
Bye.
All right.
But we can already go over some fundamental.
Yeah.
Ambient occlusion.
Ambient occlusion, yeah, I'm also seeing. Also, again, dull colors. Like, punch those colors, guys. Like, maybe it's because we're biased because we love punching colors to the max, but
Yeah.
we just really like if people would put a little more color and stuff. Work on your skin tones. I think your skin tones are very like the same everywhere, whereas skin tones are like all over the place. There are so many colors in skin tone. By doing just a few studies of them, notice these subtleties, and they can really make your character so much more alive. Like this type of skin feels very dull and dead, and just by punching some red in the right places, some purples, some greens, even blues can
definitely.
just do wonders. Believe me.
Some red in the nose and the cheeks and the
Yeah,
ears. Some
like
yellows in the forehead.
mm-hmm.
Some greens or blues on the chin, for example. Especially if it's a guy.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah. I feel like it's just like the defining the form and focal points and all that.
yeah. These are actually really good. This image here, this character turnaround, this sort of elf character. These sketches, like with just clean line art, like they appeal a lot to clients and portfolio reviewers and studios, along with the reference and a little render here. Like again, work on the fundamentals, work on the skin tones, work on materials. Like that's definitely stuff you need to. But if you do, and I can guarantee you, like 5 sheets, you can go miles. These are stuff that studios love, and especially if you put some more iterations on how you started to develop this one. So even some more like thumbnails. This is a good one. I think this is actually your best piece of your.
I feel like your sketches are your best stuff.
Oh, sketches are good.
Which is good. That's like if you want anything that you do.
That's where you start, yeah.
It's your sketches, so that's good. I think your painting just needs to work, but like honestly, that's
just time.
Yeah, that just takes time, and the hardest part is to have good sketches, and I think you got that already. So
yeah,
just watch more tutorials and do studies and experiment.
Yeah.
Use ambient occlusion.
Yeah.
If you don't know what ambient occlusion is, it's these little shadows that appear when two surfaces are in contact. Like
look at
basically my whole rendering process is ambient occlusion and highlights. This is ambient occlusion. This is ambient occlusion. This is ambient occlusion.
It's I always imagine it like light bounces around, but whenever it has a hard time reaching certain places, that's where, of course, not a lot of light comes, and that's where ambient occlusion starts to occur. But yeah, just look up ambient occlusion. I think after like 2 practice runs, you sort of get a hang of ambient occlusion, and
oh yeah, definitely.
Once you're aware of it, like your stuff starts to look 3D immediately, and it's like, holy shit, what is this magic button?
Once you're aware of simple facts about lighting, like for example, what I'm doing right now is the Fresnel effect, which means every surface that is facing away from the viewer, from the object, is going to reflect the background. So if you notice, for example, especially the metals, but every surface is going to do it.
Yeah.
This already makes everything look a lot more three-dimensional.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I hope this helps Cameron. If you're still here, I'm not even sure if maybe you were reviewing. I'm just going up the list.
No, he's still there.
You still here? All right, cool. Nice. All right, then we go to I think the last. Wait, it's Matt, or is there another one? Oh, there are two more. That's fine. I still.
That's okay.
Is Matt callback?
Matt callback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he also have an art station? Let's check it out. I gotta fully switch over to ArtStation. I assume.
Look at Tashi. Look at her doing sombra.
You gotta click on concept art.
Yeah, I'm clicking on concept art now. Holy mackerel! That's a lot of.
I know this.
I know.
Yeah,
that.
I haven't been working on it in a while because I didn't quite know where to take it. But I think I have a better idea now. It's just that I don't have the time, and I'm kind of cheating.
I
some
know you
time
too.
out of.
I was talking about the portfolio, but I know what you're doing too.
No, I was just because mine was on the display, so
Oh yeah.
I assumed. I am so sorry.
No, it's okay. Takes a delay. You don't have to be sorry.
Dude, Matt, your portfolio is awesome. I don't
Oh,
know anything.
Raphael was mentoring you, right?
Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
I think he told us.
I think so too.
Yeah, we're really close. So we talk about.
Yeah,
things.
Raphael. We also in our Discord.
Yeah.
We know him.
Well, you're in really good hands with Raphael.
Yeah, you're in good hands, and you're already doing a. I'm not having a lot to critique here, to be honest.
Yep, same.
I'm
I would
real. If I would say something, it's probably very nitpicky thing.
Ah, these animal characters are so cute.
I know this one. There's so many cool shapes.
Yeah.
Baldi, your perspective is so fucked up.
What?
Your perspective.
My perspective.
It's always like, what? Like, I don't know what to do with the shadows.
Dude, Matt, you know what I would say? I would say make your homepage a concept art page and get rid of the home. Like, cause you just go
Yeah.
to macbook.com and you see like this thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like, what do I click? I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of like maybe somebody doesn't like this thing because I don't think this is just Strongest thing. This is Triad, you know.
Mhm.
I feel
Yeah,
like
no,
the
I
strongest
don't-
thing is to open up the concept art and be like, whoa, look at all this shit.
Yes to that. Like this horse thingy is definitely not their strongest. I think it's raw weak actually compared to some of the other stuff.
Yeah, man, I like these goblins honestly. The goblin lineup, and like the light colored goblins, I feel like are way stronger than that Triad, to be honest.
Yeah, it's more about presentation with rather than like there's not a lot of technical stuff that we can talk about. This is cool.
1 second, Baldi.
Wait,
I'm
you only
going...
have.
What?
Sorry, I'm going crazy. Does she have only one boob? Is the only one behind the breastplate, or
Yeah, one
am
of
I
the ones
missing...
behind the breastplate.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not missing a shape. It's just like
No,
this.
no, it's fine.
Okay. Cool.
Your art station is confusing, or is it old? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 1, 2, 3, 7 things. Is that right? I would try to make your art station look like your website.
Hmm. Oh, you also made the felt dry in 3D.
3D is very valuable in the
Yeah.
sense that you have to understand what people are going to do with your concepts and how to make their lives easier. But if you don't want to do that every day, I wouldn't include it in your portfolio because there is a chance that, for example, you're going to, okay, you might want this actually. You're going to get at Blizzard and they model every character, like they concept it and then they model it the same person. And some people don't like the modeling part at all. Yeah, that's just my take on the
Hmm.
but whatever.
One thing I actually am seeing a little bit, again, I'm being very nitpicky here, is some of your, like sometimes I see your metals like are really feeling nice and like a proper metal, and sometimes they're feeling very dull. Like for instance, this sword. Um, maybe that's because it's really old. I'm not sure, but uh, I don't know. Sometimes it looks really nice, and sometimes it feels a little bit, I don't know, not as good. So maybe it's old. I'm not sure. That's the only thing I can almost. Now I'm really being really so. Yeah, I think we've, and also like I see some really old, like I just wouldn't do it. There are a lot of good pieces that represent you right now and your stuff necessary. Like this old lineup here and
Your microphone is acting out, by the way.
oh really? Oh shit.
Yeah. Try now.
I hope.
I take that iPhone out of
Oh no, but I hope everybody got that. But like, what I was saying is that there are some really old pieces that I think you can just remove from the portfolio. They do not represent you anymore. Okay.
Did I cut out, or was that just you?
No, I just was silent. And
Nothing happened.
I was just hoping and seeing if someone was going to. Was. So, let's go to next one.
This is
We'll
fun.
We'll share mine too. Any overall crits from the chat or stream is perfectly. Carl Springer. Are you also looking at it, James? And Dashi?
Wait, hold on, I'm trying to find it. Carl Spear. Okay, here we go.
I'm looking at your screen.
Let's see. Freelance
Found it.
artistic visual dungeon master.
That's a cool position. I will, yeah.
That's what we all aspire to be.
It's not bad. You just need a like focal point thing, and the controlling your contrast. You know, like you don't have to have so much contrast with your shadows. Like have contrast between your materials. You know what I mean? Like a light material versus a dark material. You don't need like such a heavy shadow on everything.
Yeah, I feel you're putting way too much detail on a lot of stuff, which makes certain stuff hard to read. Contrast is everywhere the same, and that doesn't help with getting the focal point across. So I like your ideas. I think you have some really interesting visuals and styles, but your technicalities are kind of back, I think, a lot.
Thankfully, technicalities are just technicalities, though. So
yeah,
anybody can get over
This
that.
cat thing's pretty cool.
I do get a really old school vibe from your stuff, which is interesting.
Mm.
And I actually see some really good. I actually see some really nice in this painting of the cats. There's some really nice lights going on. Actually, I think it's one of maybe your strongest piece.
Yeah, it's like really classic.
A very classic, right?
Yeah. Oh, you have all your process up on here. Let's see. Yeah, man. I don't know. Were you watching Carlos when he started his coloring? You know, it was like very loose and like kind of like focusing on like color zones. You know, think about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like having gradients. Like I feel like the materials are all the same throughout the whole damn design.
Mm.
Maybe having a gradient. Like I'm looking at this genie himba spirit. Yeah, like the skin is the same from the finger to the forehead. You know, like put a gradient. Like I can see this person having like maybe like really white hands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or something like some kind of
Purple?
gradient, or like maybe like a lighter top and darker hands.
Yeah, like the belly and the inside of the arms is always lighter. The outside do stuff like this.
Yeah, like a fish or something.
Yeah,
like a shark.
nails can be very different. Like you were saying already, the inside of the hands are oftentimes very.
How can I do my shadows more attractive? Hmm.
Oh, and yeah.
That's a complex one because it depends. Like I could tell you how to make really dramatic lightning, but you might not need that in your piece. You might need just a simple basic one like this one. This is just concept art lightning. The most simple thing you can ever do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a basic light coming from the top. And there's no drama here, just representing the shapes as clearly as
No
possible.
drama here.
There's no drama. Do you want drama? I can do. I can give you drama. Um, yeah,
He's asking a question. How to make his shadows more attractive?
yeah, that's what I am trying to address.
Oh, sorry.
The thing I would try to make clear is try to find your cast shadows, like for example this shield on the shoulder, on the sleeve. This is important
Mm-hmm.
to know where everything is and what it's touching. And the occlusion is also a type of shadow. It's not so necessary, in my opinion, for these kind of things. For example, if you look at Baldi's portfolio, he has a lot of stat with basically no occlusion, and it works perfectly fine. It works.
I guess.
You don't need occlusion.
Yeah. It's true. You don't
Look at your
necessarily need
original demon. You are adding occlusion with the line art, you idiot, and it's perfect.
it.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I use the lines.
Yeah. Exactly. If you're going to paint this, like draw this, when you have to make this line, let me find a really bright color. This line right here, just make it thicker because it has occlusion, and there you're already telling where the light is going.
Right.
I wouldn't worry about your shadows, though. Honestly.
Yeah, I
like,
don't think the shadows are your problem.
Yeah, it's the diffused textures.
Mhm.
I think you need to focus more on. I honestly like just maybe even do simpler lighting. Like you have like a colored light source on some of these. Like maybe, like who gives a shit? Maybe just do kind of like the Blizzard, yeah, like ambient occlusion kind of lighting where you don't really have a strong light source.
Yeah.
But just have like a really good, like the base color of the object is like really well designed.
Say the name.
Yeah.
Say what?
Say the name. The name you want to say.
Oh, there's a couple.
I only know one.
I only
Corey
know
Loftus.
one. One god.
Look at Corey Loftus' work.
There you go.
Can you hear that?
Take a shot.
Cha-ching of the
Ka-ching,
Curry
ka-ching.
Loftus jar.
Every single person look at Corey Loftus' work and study it. But like, he doesn't really have like creative stuff. It always reads. It always has form, and it's just really good. but like the base colors are really well designed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I think Tyson Murphy too. Even look at his stuff. Like yeah, he's got cool shadows and like cool tricks and everything, but like the base, like before he adds all that, like it has a good base with good gradients and like,
Yeah.
good design.
Why do you think I'm doing it this way?
Right. Like it, I can't remember. Carlos, you started this like a soft brush, right? When you're coloring
Yeah,
this.
the
Yeah.
basic soft brush.
Yeah, try that, man. Like, I can see you have all this line work for your designs. Like, just fill it in a flat color. Do like one color at the top and the soft color at the bottom, a darker color, and then kind of look at it and be like, oh, I can see where I can take this, and then
Gradients are
see
your
what
friends.
happens.
There is no
Yeah.
need for you to paint with normal 1 pixel brush every pixel of the image. Just do broad strokes and see where it goes. And once you like the main fill, just render a couple of focal points, and you're good to go.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for Carl Springer. Thank you for letting us.
Thank you for buying.
Thank you
Yeah,
for buying your timeshare. Blah blah blah.
I like the stuff that he's making, though.
Your nerd grade is on the way.
Was there another scroll?
Maybe.
Carl Springer.
I think I have to take my leave, though it is getting a little late over here, and I need to prep for a dinner.
Mhm.
Bye.
Okay.
Right? But it has been a real y'all.
What the fuck did you just say?
Let's do this again sometime.
Okay. I didn't speak
Okay.
Texan, sorry.
All right. Bye.
Okay,
See ya,
bye.
Dashi.
See you.
See ya.
Bye bye. I think
there
this
she goes.
There she
Jackie's
goes.
this the guy.
Jack Zierhut, but I'm wondering if he's still here or sure. I think he already.
Can you see
Jack,
him?
are you still here? Just let us know because otherwise we might give you advice.
Yeah,
You can see who's on the chat. Oh, but
Can we see who's online?
I can.
Yeah, but it's telling me it's only Carlos.
I
That's not
can,
true,
but-
though.
Do we have any other portfolios to review before that one?
There's one more. There's Jack one, and there's
Yeah, do
also
that one.
Sharon Flan, and he posted more recently.
Do that one.
Oh, I think Jack is still here.
Okay then.
But another person asked a question. Carlos, if this was a design for Riot, what kind of deadline would you have for? Are they pretty lax?
I don't do this for Riot ever. Like coloring stuff for fun with this kind of detail, that doesn't happen. Baldi actually does concept art for Riot for skins, and he does really basic colors and maybe some shading. So maybe you
Yeah.
can talk about that.
Sure, I will not show, of course, Riot stuff, but I can definitely show some stuff that would show how far I would take my rendering in order for it to be
Riot
sufficient.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like Riot would be okay with it. So here is some really old concept art stuff, but it sort of shows the same process. To answer your question, I work very, very simple when I do concept art. Like I do. Let me pick up a good example. I think, but this is a good one. I guess this is for some old game that I made where I was making for Cyborg Ninjas before Genji, by the way. But you can see that it's just line art with flat colors, and sometimes this is enough for a thumbnail, and you don't need more. But this sometimes I take it a little bit further than this and just throw in like maybe 2 more values, one for the highlight and one for the shadow, and then you can get stuff like, let me pull it up, like this one. I think this is a good example. So this was just a robot. And if you look at you have a line art. I threw in some basic colors. I did a multiply layer with just a very light, warm purple color, just to create some bit warmish shadows on the shadow parts, and then one highlight line, just a solid line. You can see it like just a round brush to indicate form. And this is enough. Like this shows us form. It shows us where the ambient occlusion is, how the shore wraps around, and this is enough, and you can do this very, very quickly. Like,
Mhm.
you don't need more than this, and this would be sufficient for Riot to see if they want to go in this direction or not.
That
And of
said,
course,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
sorry.
I was going to say, like, thankfully in Riot we have really, really good 3D artists that doesn't need, like, they don't need anything else.
No,
Generally, like, they can take some liberties when it comes to painting, and they know how to interpret forms and shapes. At least in my experience.
yeah, I think so too.
In other companies, yeah, you might have to spend a day doing just side views.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, in the end, once everything, then you have to go on the render horse and render the shit out of it, pretty much like I don't know, like a monkey, but but before that, it's all about quick iterations, doing quick stuff. No, this one I'll post this later on, I think, but it's fine. You can see this stuff. Maybe there's already stuff on the workstation, but I'm not sure. But yeah.
For what?
All right.
I think they asked though what was the deadline for Riot though.
Yeah,
That's
the question was the deadline.
Oh well, that depends a lot. Like, there is not really like sometimes there is a deadline for a character, and that can depend on like that can be 1 week or sometimes 2 weeks. That's usual for a quick concept for a skin. But I've had skins where I had worked on a skin for 3 months, off and on. Like sometimes there were days that I didn't work on it, then I went back to it again, then I did something else, then I went back to it again, and we kept on going back and forth. I'll be honest, at the end I got a little crazy, but it's all for the good, of course, because we're just trying to be as thorough as possible and get the best skin and the best design there is. So it depends a lot. Depends if there's pressure behind it or not. Depends if it all goes well or not. Depends on a lot of stuff. But yeah, you can do it very quickly. But it all, like, sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't. There's not a solid answer to that one.
As long as the design in the end is perfect, I don't think they really care that much about the time.
No,
unless it's something crazy.
The design is what's important. Like once the design is settled, making a nice render of it just takes 1 day. That's not the work. It's getting the design and finding the design. That's the big hurdle.
And for me, if you want to talk about rendering, it really depends on the project. But for example, I can talk about a splash. For a splash art, usually the deadline is 4 weeks. It sometimes takes more, sometimes takes less. Depends on the person, on the iterations, on how clear everything is, your experience, so many things. But yeah, it depends really.
Yeah.
Rendering is not the problem. Rendering is easy. The problem is defining everything before rendering to make sure you're going to spend a week rendering alone and everything is going to be very clear.
Yeah, you don't want to render for a week long and then the team says, oh no, this is not the design we went for. Like these arms need to be different. And then you're like, well, fuck me.
I think that's like with everybody, really. You have to struggle to get your design approved first before you render.
Before you dive in.
Okay.
Well, next portfolio, I think.
This is the last one, right?
This is, I think.
There's another one with some guy with some crazy colors.
Bandwagon, portfolio bandwagon.
All right, let's do Jack because Jack's has been.
We skipped one. No, did we?
Don't think we skipped one. No, well, I think we got it. Or not.
There's one that had like mutants and stuff. I think I clicked out of it on accident.
Jack?
Whatever, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm looking at Jack's art right. And he said it's old stuff, and we didn't have to look at it
Oh,
necessarily.
it is Jax. Never mind.
All right.
Stupid.
So it is. So yeah, I already know some of the stuff in it. Yeah, I
The
already.
girl with the red hair is pretty cool. I would say like the rhythm. Okay, if you're gonna have like a big block shape, I feel like the shape is so important that I would cheat the form a little bit to make it more of an appealing shape.
You're talking about the vampire design, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Other than that, it's like really cool. Like her face is like spot on.
yeah.
The hair, the blood hair is like really cool, but you can't have the same thickness throughout the whole hair. Like there's no transition.
Yep.
It needs to go
Yeah.
from
Good
big
one.
to little.
Also, like
the other way
the
around.
the thickness of the hair is somewhere the same as her hips and waist. Like it's all the same thickness.
Yeah.
The entire design, like the entire idea is perfect, and I love the colors. They're just really good. But just shape things up. Like I don't know. Push the shapes more. Like the blood can be very out of this world and energetic. Look at Joe Matt's fucking Medusa sketches if you want to know what we're talking. But yeah,
I say good contrast. Like we keep telling everybody like the values and the contrast is the same throughout the entire image. Well, I think this image
This one
is
has a
an
good
example
contrast.
of
Definitely.
doing it right, of controlling the contrast. Like her skin is very light. She has very little contrast and values on her skin, but then her hair is red is actually dark, so like her hair and her dress are really dark colors. So like that's the kind of contrast you want is between materials more so than the shadows. And this is a good example of doing it right.
yeah. All right. I think it's a good piece overall, and I like this render. This render.
Zombie guy is cool.
Them brains.
Got kind of girly legs though. I think I'd probably legs can use more design.
I would have picked a different gesture for this guy. I like the design a lot. I think it's really cool.
Oh, yep.
But I would have
same.
made him like a powerful pose, like a wide stance, and he's like, "Rah!" You know, powerful, hulky pose with those big arms. And now he's like, it's almost like he's walking on the catwalk. You know,
Yeah, he's sneaky.
he's very tiptoey and oh hi there. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Making
Mr.
him with like one
Yeah.
hand on the ground.
And this is
like,
this comes back to the point we were talking about earlier about what the gesture is. Like here, I think we have a really cool, solid design, but gesture just doesn't sell the character.
And why is there an Overwatch logo on there?
What Overwatch logo? Oh,
oh shit.
what did we say about putting
What did we
fucking
say?
about game logos on your fucking things?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, don't do it. That confuses it. Like I've heard people who work at studios like that, and they hate to see that because it's confusing. And I've heard a lot of people say like as soon as they see a logo on your work,
Your portfolio's out.
they throw it. You're automatically discarded.
Unless of course you actually work on that project.
Yeah. And even still, if you even worked on that project,
Yeah, I don't you put the right
studios
logo on
don't
everything.
allow you to put the damn logos on the work anyway.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like a dead giveaway of like like it's super amateurish.
Yep.
So just don't do it, people, because it's not like someone's gonna at the studio is gonna see your work and be like, oh man, I never would have thought this would fit in League of Legends if they didn't put League of Legends gigantic on the piece of work. Oh my goodness, like that's never ever gonna happen.
Like, if it's going to fit League of Legends, you don't have to put a logo. People are going to know.
Yeah. No, I'm just generalizing. I'm not attacking.
No, yeah, of course.
But
But I
yeah.
remember having that in IFCC, for example. This guy who had a Dishonored fan art on his portfolio, and it had the Dishonored logo on the bottom. And the Bethesda, is it Bethesda? I don't know. And all the recruiters were really, really angry. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. So let's move on. We got another one, and I think those are some cool character designs actually. Yeah, I think you have some really cool, unique shapes, and I already saw this was taking class with you. Your shape language and your shapes that you come up really nice. I do think again your gestures, although some of them are really strong actually, but your gestures could have a little more work. But other than that, these are some really nice ones.
I would say get rid of this hairy fat guy.
Yeah, maybe he falls a bit off the.
That just looks old, and like your girl with the red hair is like way better.
Yeah,
That doesn't look. Yeah, just get rid of it.
That's also, I really understand that because I've been there recently, and you see your work progress so fast. Like you don't even have time to change your portfolio because it's getting so much better so fast. And yeah, basically you go to recruiters and everything you say is, oh, but that's so old. Don't look at it. In that case, why is it on your portfolio?
I feel like you just need to make more work.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, Eve, that's what we were saying. Like, of course, if you make for a game company, they want their logo on it. That's not what we're saying. We're saying if you're not working for the company and you're making art, like thinking or like saying like this is the new character, it can work, but it's a tricky thing to do, and it can bite you in the butt. That's what we're saying. But of course, like if I hopefully eventually get to post some of the concept art that I'm doing for Riot, of course they want logo on it.
Well, I don't think Riot doesn't allow you to put logos.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, they don't like it.
I never put the logo on anything.
Yeah, even if you did it for Riot, they don't want you to put your logo on there.
Yeah.
So that's like a dead giveaway, like that it's like fan art or whatever. And they don't. Yeah, just don't do it for anybody.
Yeah,
it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know this is a bit older work, Jack. Overall, I think it's all very strong. You're definitely getting there. Just more of the girl that we're seeing, just more. But your shapes are already very interesting. Creatures, the jellyfish is my favorite. Like when I saw you do these in the class that we were doing, like oh shit, these are crazy. Love them. So your headhunter whip design is like illustration is very. Then like I would just throw it out. Just don't keep it in. The silhouette ones are good next to that. Yeah. Overall, it's very strong. Strong portfolio. Yep.
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 Yep. Yep.
Last one, guys. I think this is just last. At least I will go because
yeah, I have to have dinner.
So we'll do one more, and that's from Sharon Flan 88, where she says, "Well, I do not have so many pieces in edition." See about it. Oh, it's just 3 pieces. Okay.
That's okay though.
It's fine. Maybe they're 3 best pieces ever.
Yeah. That's way better than having 40 pieces and having 3 good ones in there.
I don't know.
To the point. You don't know?
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at their portfolio. Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, you have your own style, so I mean, I don't know.
It's some fun stuff. You definitely need to work a lot on the fundamentals and basic. Just be a lot. Like for instance, you're rim lighting everything right now, and this makes an image very flat. So be aware of that. Yeah. I do like the shapes of this image though. I think it's pretty, but also like contrast is all over the place. For instance, the pants have the same value as the background, which blends it in all together. That's like, be aware of what your background is compared to your character. Like it needs to pop, you know? We need to see the silhouette of Soldier. We are not seeing it right. It is. And of course, work materials.
We have all been in the face of rim lights everywhere. Because it's like such a cool trick. Like it fixes everything.
Yeah, I actually like the lighting on this guy. The background is way too distracting.
Yeah, looks like he referenced Disney Infinity
for the lighting, which is a good idea.
But this, yeah, exactly. But this looks good. This is a bit
Oh yeah.
awesome. But like again, the background is way like can't really see what's going on. Lighting, like I'm not even seeing where he was standing. It's very hard to see. But the character itself is actually pretty... Keep it simple. Like, don't overdo things. So. Yeah, again, work on your consistencies in terms of also lighting. Like, you're lighting this green stuff from underneath where I don't see why you would do that. Some other stuff.
Can any of you guys link her or him the Android art tutorial?
What is it? The one, the PTSG art tutorial?
I don't remember the name. It's by Niklas Jansson. I don't remember the name. Let me find it.
I think I have it.
You have it?
It's the PSG art tutorial.
I don't know, the one with everything you need to know, basically.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is a good one.
I think
Save it.
Fix everything.
There's a lot of everything that you need to know. Like it's stuff about form, materials, lighting.
Yep.
Ambient occlusion.
Especially if you're starting, that's like the holy grail.
Yeah, if you're starting, this is your Bible, and this should be your Bible for next year or so.
Yeah.
Just keep this tab always open when you're studying.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good one.
Read everything, try everything.
Yeah.
Try to master some of that stuff. Try to see what works for you.
Yeah. All right.
I think
That's it,
right?
guys. I think.
By the way, Baldi.
I'm looking at it,
feedback.
and I'm in love.
Of course you're in love.
Again.
Okay, good to know.
Are you liking it? Are you enjoying
yeah,
it?
of course.
I love the subtle gradient of the orange, the horn.
You give me bones to render, and I will be doing this for a year.
Dudes, this Joe Matt is gonna love this, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I think that's it for today. Thanks very much for coming.
Yeah.
We'll try to do this more often.
Yeah, I think it was fun. I really liked it.
Yeah. We just have to
I
find
hope
time.
you guys enjoyed it, learned some stuff, and yeah, see you the next.
See you.